Ooh, spooky ghost here, letting you know that if you would like to watch the video version of this podcast, then you can head on over to Content Crusaders on YouTube. There'll also be a link provided in the episode description. Ooh.
All right, welcome everybody to the Content Crusaders podcast. Same guys always. Bryce is here still.
Oh yeah, what's up?
Tech guy is here.
What up?
And Kris too, I guess.
Hey.
It's been like fucking like a month and a half, that ass.
It's been a long time.
Is it really? I mean,
It's been pretty close, yeah.
It's been
been
enough
longer.
time for me to almost watch all or read all of Tower of God.
And all right, fuck. Okay, so we're gonna be doing Soul Eater today, and we'll start. We're gonna do the thing that we did a few episodes ago. I think it was like episode 3, where they get to like talk about what they think it's gonna be about. I'm gonna go into a bathroom literally right next door, because if we go any further, dog is gonna bark. So
Bark.
I guess I'll be back in fucking like how long? A minute and a half?
We did
2.
2 minutes last time.
2 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Do I record it?
Yeah, that's the point.
Record what? You mean like time it?
No, record it.
What do you record?
Yes, you record it.
Yes,
What
you have
is,
to
what is
record it.
the
That's
point
okay.
of making this content if
No,
you are
because
not
last time
recording
I
it?
recorded it so Nolan can listen to it afterwards. I'm asking, do I record
Oh.
it again? Yeah.
Nah. Don't worry about it.
Well, what's the point of doing this then? What's the
He'll
point
be
of doing
back. He'll be
Well,
back.
because we get the,
Okay.
the audience to get
So-
some insight
All right,
before
all
we
right.
do
Looking
anything.
at this picture, I mean, honestly, I want Bryce to take it away. I've seen a few episodes of Soul Eater when I was a child, so I want to know what you think,
I also have seen a few as a child, but I do not.
bro.
Well, okay, you may remember anything. I do not remember anything except like one of the guys has a big scythe, and that's it.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I feel like the Soul Eater is like an enemy or something like that, or they're like fighting something or some beings that eat people's souls, and they're like reapers of those things or not, or I don't know, or maybe they're just like reapers in general, and they take the souls of like people for whatever reason, you know.
I think you might be right. I feel like the weapons kind of like, do they eat souls, or is like the bad guys eat the souls? I don't know.
Okay, that moon definitely got something to do with it, though.
I've always wondered about that moon, you know. I mean, some people, like say like the Zelda moon from Ocarina of Time.
No.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't recognize some of these characters, like the Australian girls.
The Australian girls? What?
They're wearing like those Outback hats. They're wearing that kind of hats that you see like with the stitches on it. For people who are listening, they got the stitches on the brim.
Yeah, I know you're talking about the.
Yeah, and she's looking
Yeah.
out. She's like, ooh.
I didn't know that was specifically an Australian thing. I kind of want to ask Nolan if they're Australian or not.
We should ask them if they're Australian. I know the girl in the middle's the main girl.
Is she?
Yeah, and then the two on the right, not Soul Eater Man, but the two upright.
I don't know who Soul Eater Man is.
Soul Eater Man is the one who's like
Hunched.
he's hunched and he's like,
Okay, I can guarantee you one of them on the right, probably the guy that's hunched over, is like arrogant.
he's arrogant, yeah,
Yep.
and he's like a ninja. I think he's like, I'm superstar ninja or something like that. I mean, he's got lightly blue hair. He's got a star on his body. He's got a star tattoo, and
Is
he's got
that-
like
Oh,
a
okay,
mommy for a weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got a mommy for a
The guy,
weapon.
and the guy on the left definitely has that fresh cut.
The guy on the left, I mean, I kind of told you who he was. Like
You did?
Okay, never mind.
I mean, he's Death Jr.
That is what I said. I kind of said he
Well, I mean, I saw that in the character list.
Oh.
So
Okay. This time, guys, also we have like a a little thing for ourselves to look at the characters, but we'll like still kind of describe things for the audience.
I think we're gonna include the characters, like we're gonna edit it in the video.
Yeah, you'll see it in the video.
I'm
Okay, we
not-
should go get Nolan.
Has been 2 minutes.
Has it? Aren't you timing it?
I sure hope so.
Bro,
I feel like we've been
Was I
talking
supposed to time
forever.
it?
I mean, this one,
Dude,
I mean, we
what
got
are
a
you-
moon.
what are
We
you
got
here
a
for?
moon. Like, we got a guy who's like, "Ugh," some Australian women. Like,
Wait, so do you just agree with
Everything.
what I predicted the show would be about?
yeah, you know, I feel like weapons eat souls. I mean, there has to be some kind of soul eater. It's called soul eater.
So you know that
right?
the weapons eat souls specifically?
I feel like the weapons eat souls.
So you feel like that, okay.
I feel like it.
Okay, so something eats souls. I don't know what it is, but
Oh.
you believe it is weapons.
Oh, I
They're
remember
weapons.
who the Australian women are. Never mind.
Wait,
Probably
they're
go
not
on.
Australian.
Well, I remember what they do.
Be Australian.
Yeah.
Do you think like their power is to like make hats like that?
That would be a pretty cool power. I think they could really like sell that. You know, that's the kind of thing you'd see on Etsy.
I was about to say I would buy one maybe, but I'd have
Yeah.
to see what it would look like in real life.
My question is are those stitches or are those like teeth? You know, this has gone on so fucking long, Justin. I feel like we're wasting time. We need to go get Nolan.
Yeah, we gotta go to Nolan.
That's your job.
Why is
We're-
that my job? What the fuck?
Bro, you're the tech
Bro.
guy. You deal with all the behind the scenes stuff.
Bro.
But
That's
I
Oh, there he is.
I don't
He's
think
here,
they're I
he's
don't
here.
think they're teeth.
Hey, Nolan.
I'm glad I can count 2 minutes better than y'all can.
Was that 2
only
minutes?
2 minutes?
No, it was a little longer. I left y'all an extra minute in case y'all didn't start
Okay.
immediately.
Nolan, I have a quick question
Yeah,
that
what's
might
poppin'?
sort of like indicate what we've been talking about. On those Australian hats, are those stitches or teeth?
Those are definitely stitches, chief.
Are those two people Australian?
Are those two people?
No,
Australian?
they're from like New York.
What? That's just wrong.
Yeah, the only reason
That's cultural
I'll get to
appropriation.
this later, but the only reason they even wear those outfits is because their partner literally forces them to match.
I didn't even know that
Oh yeah,
those were Australian specific hats. Do
Yeah.
you look at those,
I
Nolan?
feel like
and
that's
just,
some Chris headcanon right now.
I
but
feel
whatever.
like those are Australian hats.
I was gonna say, Nolan, do you look at that and say, "Oh yeah,
I'll look at those
Australian hats"?
Australian, how fucking no.
What kind of hat? What kind of hat is that?
Yeah,
then?
what kind of hat is that?
I mean, it's definitely on their heads.
The brims are so weird. They go up. Why do they go
Wait,
up
that's
on the side?
how can? Okay, I was about to say, how can you call the brim on the side? But like, I guess you could have a side brim.
I mean, cowboy hats have like brims
brim
that go
all
up like this
around.
sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah, but that's like
360 brim,
That's
dude.
different though. That's what we call side brim. That's
Yeah, those
different
are-
than
Side brim? Okay, their side brims go up. Like
That's
little
definitely-
flaps.
No,
like
okay.
the,
There's
like the
no
Russian hats.
There's no S. It's not their side brims. It's
the side brim.
The side brim.
Okay.
okay. well,
They are not brimless. It
They
is
aren't
just
brimless.
located on the outer region.
However, Soul Eater Man, he is brimless. He has a headband, and that's it. He ain't rocking no brim.
Yeah, they got like headgear, but none of them are. Actually, the cat is brimmed out. It's all
the cat
around.
does have a brim
There's a cat?
right in the front. Right in the front. Do you see its eyes, bro?
No.
What?
I
Okay,
don't
well,
see a cat.
We'll see the cat again really soon, anyways.
Right there.
There's its eye.
Oh, by the way,
and,
Bryce, do you have the thing pulled up on your phone?
I can and like
Okay,
now.
okay. By the way, for this episode, we're gonna have we're gonna probably release them
We've already
on
talked
social
about
media, but we're gonna have like a. Oh, y'all did?
Yeah.
We talked about
Yeah,
it.
Okay, good.
We got it covered, bro.
Is it Blair?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Okay,
I don't
so
like that picture.
Where's she? I said she, but I don't know. Where are they at?
They're on the second slide. Their name's Blair.
It's the one.
Whoa, that's like some Yorichi type shit right there.
Actually, correct. I think it was a very direct influence. They even have purple hair.
this is a picture. What are? Never mind.
Yeah.
Don't
We'll
worry
talk about it.
Don't
Okay,
worry
just
about
move to the fucking next slide. All right. So real quick, we'll start with it. We are covering Soul Eater, so let's talk about Soul Eater a little bit. It was released as 3 separate one-shot series in 2003, and then in 2004 was eventually released as a full-fledged manga that would receive a chapter every month, which made it so that it finished in 2013, even though it started in 2004. I think they had to have had breaks too, but I could be wrong. And it was published in Monthly Shonen Gangan, which is actually owned by Square Enix. I did not know that. It's pretty interesting. This is the same magazine that Fullmetal Alchemist came out in.
Yeah.
And these were actually coming out simultaneously too, I'm pretty sure.
Didn't Sonic also come from that?
No.
Sonic?
No,
I swear to God.
That is
it
not
came from Square Enix.
Sega.
It's from Sega, bro. Don't even look this shit up.
Okay, continue.
Which
Eventually-
one do you prefer? Do you prefer Full Metal Alchemist or Soul Eater?
It's pretty easy on Full Metal Alchemist, then, dog. we'll get into that a little bit. Okay. Eventually, it would receive an anime that is deadass like completely incomplete. The show, it came out in 2009. The whole show did. So obviously, you can tell
Just
immediately
in 1 year.
that
I thought there's like a shit ton of episodes.
yeah, there's 50. But the thing that's really notable about the fact that it came out in 2009 is that the series ended in 2013, which makes it so it's impossible that it's complete.
50 in 1 year?
Yeah, it was like the start. I think it was the start of the year, and it came out by the end of the year.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean,
Just
there's
every week?
52 weeks.
I mean, they,
Yeah.
you know,
And it was made by Studio Bones, who is now known for doing a lot of other shit, like most notably probably like Mob Psycho, Boku no Hero, things like that.
yeah.
I think they
Yeah,
were
I get
also, involved in Haikyuu, maybe, but I could be wrong. And it received a spin-off called Soul Eater Not, which is bad.
Soul Eater not? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And the series is main upside for most people is the combat scenes are very fucking insane and the fighting styles are just ridiculous. And also the main thing is the aesthetic. The shit taken right out of Nightmare Before Christmas. It's very, very similar. I even watched the movie in preparation for this, and it is so similar aesthetically. It's 100% like a direct inspiration. Also, this series is despised for one specific reason by a lot of people, which is the fan service in this series is maybe one of the most unapologetic ever. And I mean ever. It is pretty crazy. Now, it's not like in terms of like, wow, the women are just that unrealistic. It's more so the problem is that it's just like it is literally nonstop. And it's like plot points every time. It actually matters that it's happening every time. And because of this, I wanted to talk about that immediately. So go to the next slide. We're just going to start with the trope study here. On fan service.
So before we do this, can we get an update, Justin? Was that were you correct that was the Sonic was in that? I saw you looking.
Was Sonic in
Sonic
Studio
creator
Gam?
Yuji Naka leaves Square Enix.
Bro, but that could be a video game thing too.
Yeah,
Square-
I think that's what I was thinking of.
You just like remember that one article that this one dude left?
No, I mean, I just swear in a Sonic game I've seen Square Enix. I swear to God, I'm gonna keep
Well, in a
researching.
Sonic game?
Or something.
Gonna give you an update. Nolan looks so displeased.
I'm going to next episode, episode 7. I'm gonna bring back an update.
Okay, what do you think the chances are that he's gonna forget?
100%. All right. So we should definitely.
Why don't you make it your mission right now, and then at
Don't pay attention.
the end,
SMH, bro. Okay. So one thing I want to bring up immediately about fan service is I'm mostly talking about Japanese media, by the way. It's in fucking everything now, especially. But the term was actually believed to be coined because of anime and manga, which is why it's brought up so much more there than anywhere else. And fun fact, it was actually, from what I could find, it was coined by editors who would redraw manga, but censored in like the 70s and 80s, and they just referred to any gratuitous violence or sex or anything, to be honest, that was like not normal over here as fan service. It was not very limited to the sexual aspect of fan service, which is what we're mostly talking about, but anything from Dragon Ball Z fights where they're nerfing like wounds and bruises and shit on their bodies to like fucking Blair the cat in this and everything.
Bro, I was gonna say, so you telling me like Frieza getting split in half is fan service?
That's what they would mean. Yes,
Yeah,
like the blood coming out of him would be like that's fan service to them. They would like, and when they would censor it, that's what they would refer to it as because they needed a term for like
is
what
it
they were
like?
censoring.
Is it because they're like servicing it, like censoring it for because of fans?
Kinda. I don't really know why they use that term specifically. It was more that to them that was like a overdone thing, just because Japanese fans are degenerates. Who knows?
Bro, I'm just thinking of like JoJo right now because there's like, I mean, if you're thinking of it like that, there's so much like fan service in terms of like violence kind of stuff because there's so many scenes in there. I've noticed. Like, I haven't read it obviously, which it may show more, but like in the anime, there's so many like very
Censored.
violent and gruesome things going on, but it's just like black.
Yeah. I think there is an uncensored version somewhere, but yeah, it's pretty bad.
Of the manga, you mean?
Of both.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't think they come out till later though. Now, the big thing about fan service that I think is interesting is fan service is typically people's only reason to watch a show, and sometimes it's the only reason they won't watch a show. It kind of is insane because it completely changes based on what the series is about. Because there can be some series where like you would be totally down with it being in the show, and there's others where it's like, and then so it's like it's pretty bizarre how it actually happens. The big reason for fan service being viewed so icky, gross, grunk, like over here by some people is primarily because that's just not what American media is like to the extent it is in Japanese media. There are some series like that literally would not have had a single reader if tits and ass were not on screen literally every scene. And there are many, many series that had no readers because tits and ass were on screen literally every scene. So it's like just a whole thing.
I'm going to say two things. One thing is I feel like obviously they're catering to a different audience, but I feel like there's definitely versions of the media for that specifically where people can indulge in that. Mm-hmm. But also I feel like another thing with people thinking fan service is icky, grunt, gross, or whatever you said, is that like, at least in the Western audience, is a lot of the times that the characters are like fucking 15.
Yes. Or I was going to talk about that in the next slide.
Yeah.
So the big thing about it is nowadays fan service, by the way, has gotten like a lot more rampant and kind of just fucking everything. Like we can just go to like fucking Star Wars. There are like a bunch of scenes where they would just put like Leia in like weird ass clothes that she probably shouldn't be in just because.
Wait, you said recently?
Well, like, I mean, that's pretty recent compared to like when they coined the term.
Oh, okay. I see what
also, like things like the Fire and Ice books, the Song of Ice and Fire books got a ton of criticism for just writing about fan service scenes, basically, even though it's not really what they are.
When you're talking about
like
fan service
snut.
in this sense, are you talking about like sexual or just like violent?
And even ones that are like, there are incredibly graphic violent scenes in the books too, and in the show. Obviously, people have a lot of issues with it, and that shit is just permeated fucking everything. Like there's like that one game recently that I pardon me for not remembering the name. It's a game that's not out yet, but the main chick in it is like really hot, and people are just super upset about
like,
Horizon Zero Dawn.
No. It's
the one that reminded me of Bayo.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, that one. I'm sorry. I should have looked up what the game was called. But yeah, so, and for the most part, it's pretty like, it's rampant to the point where it's associated with the genre so much that there are people that will not even like touch manga as a medium as a result of fan service existing. And then there's, like I said many times already, that's the only reason some people like anime literally at all.
Oof.
And so the reason I wanted to bring this up more specifically, though, not to say that shoujo and seinen do not have fan service. By the way, shoujo is just manga for younger women, and then seinen is manga for older men. Those are like the two main distinctions, other than shonen, which is manga for younger men. The thing I will say is I wanted to mostly touch on shonen because that's the one that most people are thinking about when they're talking about what's wrong with fan service for the most part, because the characters tend to be underaged, as Bryce brought up, because they're for kids.
I was going to say, fucking, you telling me that like some of these anime that are shonen, some of those shit that be happening in them are not young. I mean, you say young, you mean young men or like children?
It means approximately boys under 17.
Okay, I mean, there's like, I don't know, there's like some things. It's like
it's definitely more than that would be associated with that here for sure.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Yeah. Okay. Go to the next slide.
Like there's some fuck shit that happens in some shonen from what I've seen.
So of the three main umbrellas that I talked about, seinen, shoujo, shonen, shonen is by far the most popular from what I can tell. And it has a fair share of issues that it's had with fan service as a whole. Characters will like all the time, shit that is completely baffling will just happen just to set up a fan service scene. It is in fact so common that fan service happens in shows that there are tropes within just fan service. So you have like the spa scene where they like are in like a hot the hot baths, and one of the boys uses another guy to get up on his shoulders and look over the thing so he can see the naked girls. That happens in most shows that are shown in it. I swear to God. The beach episode, I think, only exists because of this right here.
The beach filler episode is the most powerful one.
A hood classic, bro.
Oh, wait. That is Japanese. I was thinking Sonic X. Sonic X had it.
I was going to point out that we have yet to cover an anime or manga yet that doesn't have a scene like that, except for Tower of God, where we didn't cover the contents of the story.
Does Kamen Rider have a beach episode?
But like
they're also,
but it's like not a manga.
Yeah,
but the first three we did all had one straight up.
And let's just say, I think
Sonic
I'd say
has one.
Tower of God also has one.
Yeah, it kind of does too. Yeah, to be honest. And so like it's just like a thing now, you know. And one thing that is interesting about it is it's kind of termed. Sometimes it stands out and it's like a good thing, and it like is what people remember about the series, like a fairy tale in some people's minds. And for some people, it's like the main detraction from the story and why they think fairy tale is a joke and things like that. And then you have other series that are actually given critical acclaim just because they don't have fan service. Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer in some part, definitely. Hunter x Hunter gets a lot of credit for that and other things. And then there's things that get detracted from so much just for having fan service, like things like particularly seinen series have an issue where like
is that the one for the older men? Or
yeah, like there's especially seinen series with a lot of fighting, like Shumatsu no Valkyrie. Hajime no Ippo is a shonen, but it still does have like pretty gratuitous fan service at sometimes. And then there's like Kengan Ashura where they're just about combat, but every so often there will just be these insanely ridiculous fan service scenes that come out of nowhere, and it's like all that happens for a chapter, and then they just go back to people beating the shit out of each other. And
it's true.
They gotta please everyone.
And so a lot of what brings these issues up with people is that the general reception of female characters in manga is really poor to most people, especially in the West. They just do not get a lot of good stuff to do in a lot of series. They're even like laughing stocks like Sakura, Orihime, many others I could mention, like Miyu from Kenichi Strongest Disciple and stuff, are just blatantly hated because they are just not represented well at all.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because that like definitely just takes away from the shows. Like not,
I know it's
like not because of like just hating any women in like specific, but they just like make the characters just not good.
Yeah. And so like when you compound that with the fan service issue, it's like a huge problem for a lot of people, where it's like that not only are they not doing anything like super like amazing in a lot of their shows, but then they're also in the bath scene, you know, where they're in the shower completely naked for like 3 minutes, you know. It's like, it matters a lot more in that context. And another thing that's the obvious issue that Bryce brought up is the fact that so many of these characters are underage. Now in Japan, I bring up that the blanketed law for the country, though in some provinces this is different, is that the age of consent is 13, which is weird to me, but I'm not from Japan. But one thing that is really, really a lot of authors hate that this is so common there. I don't want to blanket that all authors are okay with this kind of stuff, but many of them over-sexualize people who would be minors in most of the world. This is one of the biggest issues people have with things. But in Japan, the distaste for this is definitely there. In fact, when there was 1 year where One Piece had been like on a 7-8 year #1 in the world streak, without breaking it for a single period of the year. And it finally lost a single period of the year to Love Live by a complete, like a crushing number. It was bad.
Was it because they had fan service in that?
It's about little girls that are in an idol group. And if you watch the show, I watched 5 episodes of the show just to make sure I wasn't tripping. And there was actually
had to make sure, you know what I'm saying?
And so it's literally a bunch of underage girls that are in an idol group together. And the show is crazy because they'll like do stuff where it just zooms in really close to them, and like the show isn't offensively bad otherwise, but it's just the whole premise seems designed to just show off these little girls as much as they can, and it's kind of insane. And so when you have that kind of shit going on, and there's big time authors who in response to the shit were like, dude, are you kidding me? This is what dethroned One Piece. We let this happen. Are you fucking kidding me? And
That is pretty sad.
It is viewed with shame by definitely some people there, especially like bigger authors who are like really against the practice. But all in all, a lot of people literally don't care author wise. Also, there is a little bit of a minor epidemic I wanted to bring up of it's not like a lot of them, but there are actually several manga authors who have made stuff like the author of Gauko-chan and Rurouni Kenshin and stuff that are actually in jail or have been in jail for like massive collections of underage pornography. And this is like, it happens way more than you'd think. And a lot of times those people do draw series about kids that are definitely over sexualized, and it happens a little too much. And so that's all feeding into this issue about fan service and specifically shonen. And I did want to mention that literally in just 2 of our episodes already, I've shown people pictures where they were like, oh dude, she's hot. And they were underage both times. So in both cases, it's just like, it's just it's completely unrealistic what they look like a lot of the time, which is another issue a lot of people have with it. And it's just really cringe. So I just wanted to get this part out of the way.
We had a conversation about one of those one of them was from me in the Beelzebub episode. And I was just like, that is like so embarrassing. And I didn't want it to be in there, but we were all like, I mean, this character is literally wearing a gimp suit and looks like an adult. So, I mean,
Yeah.
It's definitely cringe, bro.
I was gonna say, I think Nolan summed it up pretty well. He just said that was pretty cringe.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you know what? Sex be selling, so it's all good. So let's go and go to the next slide. All right, so we're gonna talk. Okay, a few things first. Okay, pull up the pictures. I'll talk about the main characters first, and then we'll get into what I'm talking about here. So the main characters are split into 3 teams that you follow throughout the story, in varying amounts. The main team is Maka and Soul. They're all the way on the left of the page. By the way, Soul's name, I believe, is Soul Eater Evans. And then, by the way, we'll talk about why that's a little insane later. Maka, is his, weapon meister. Basic premise, by the way, this is pretty important.
Weapon meister.
So in this world, there are people who can turn into humongous weapons. Like they can turn into them. And when they're inside their weapon form, they're still conscious and can like talk and shit. And then they have a partner who can use them as a weapon. Mm-hmm. Now, these are the pairs, Patty and Liz and Death the Kid. That's his legal name. Are able to like turn into pistols that Death the Kid uses. By the way, he uses them upside down. Like he uses his pinkies to pull the triggers.
Oh, that hurt?
That feels like that would be really uncomfortable. There's a reason he does it. And then Black Star, Tsubaki. Oh, by the way, Soul's just a scythe. I'll talk about that in a second. And then Black Star and Tsubaki. Black Star is like definitely the best part about the show, and I'll talk about that.
He's a ninja boy, right?
He is a ninja, yes. But the thing about Black Star is like that's kind of in name only. But Tsubaki is like just like a nice, quiet chick who can turn into like 10 weapons. She's completely broken.
Oh, we said she was a mom.
We did.
We did.
Oh.
Yeah, she's like 16, bro.
No,
that's
and in the picture we're looking at, by the way, it is showing us like her cleavage. So
yeah,
like we talked about.
Certified hood classic,
okay,
bro.
so Soul or Maka is the weapon.
Soul's the weapon.
Okay.
Maka is his meister.
And then
Black Star's the meister. Tsubaki's the weapon. And then Patty and Liz are both guns. And Death the Kid's the meister. Death the Kid is also a Shinigami. I will bring that up in a minute.
Or he's a Soul Reaper.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it means. Yeah. So, okay. Here's one thing I wanted to bring up about this right now. So the premise of the story is that Death, the current Shinigami, I'll get to that later. It has a list of people that he makes himself that are bad people. Now, what this means is that if you kill a bad person, weapons can eat souls. Fun fact, I swear to God, the only person who ever eats a soul is Soul. whatever. But that's the whole gimmick, is you're supposed to kill 100 people on the Shinigami's list who are bad people. And then once you do that, you eat 100 of them, then you have to kill a witch and eat her soul, and then you turn into a death scythe. Now, the fact that they're called death scythes, even though only one of the death scythes is even a scythe, and he was not the first one, to my knowledge, either, is confusing, but whatever, we'll just go with it. I also don't know how they found out that was a thing in the first place.
I mean,
whatever.
Couldn't they just be told by death or something, right?
I mean,
presumably
I don't
he
think
has kids walking around.
I don't know. It's weird because like it doesn't seem like they should have. I don't know how they found out that works like that, but they did. So
also, what classifies a witch specifically, like compared to just normal bad people?
That's what I was gonna get into here. Okay, so here are the categorizations of characters here. So we have magical people, but they are evil. Magical people, but they are not. Meisters, weapons, witches, but they are a guy sometimes. This is actually just one character who's like this, but he's like this. Bad people who used to not be bad, but also have magical powers. There's a difference there. Demons, zombies, monsters, clowns, all different.
Clowns.
And then we have Shinigamis, which are in essence witches, but guys that are good.
But wait. Didn't he make the bad people? Or did he just make a list?
Picked who they were. Like, he's like, you're not. Yeah, you're bad. Yeah.
I'm glad he gets to choose. That's why he's a good guy.
Didn't you say that the Shinigamis were the people that like had completed killing the 100 bad people and then killed the witch?
Yes. Those are death scythes.
Okay.
The death scythes are weapons that have swallowed 100 bad people and then a witch soul.
So like the main characters, they're trying to become like death scythes, right?
Yes, they're trying to make their partners death scythes so that they can be weapons that death can use.
So they're trying.
They're trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, they're trying to just.
Well, no, I mean they can still use them, but in times of emergency, the theoretical thing is that these weapons are like deemed worthy enough for death to use.
Okay, so the whole point for death is that he's like, I need little soldiers to make good weapons.
By the way, I'm gonna bring this up. He fucking never does that anyway, so it doesn't matter.
What's their like reasoning for doing that? Like, why would they want to like do this to give I guess their weapon to death? Like, why?
I would say that's a great question.
So they just,
he's
just
answer
like,
it, I'll bring it up.
Yeah, he's just a guy that.
He's a cool looking guy. Do you know which one of these it is?
Oh, dude, yeah, he's got the fucking huge ass boy hand.
Yeah,
and he's got the big teeth.
That's like, so weirdly enough, even though he uses death scythes, by the way, he has a guy who is known as Death Scythe who is with him all the time, which is actually Maka's dad. And Maka's dad, by the way, I want to bring this up. Actually, I'll bring it up later. Maka's dad, his name is Spirit, is always next to him and is actually a scythe. The thing about him is Maka doesn't like him because he cheated on her mom like dozens of times, and her mom moved away and won't talk to her basically anymore because she hates her dad so fucking much. So yeah, that's him. That's his thing. He also blows like every paycheck on like going to like cabaret clubs and stuff. So, that's neat. Also,
buy those clowns.
Other categorizations I want to bring up. We also have any other thing that they just call whatever, it doesn't really matter. And then we have right here, let me go ahead and let me see if I can read this from here. Okay. People who have an item that makes them broken, but it isn't a weapon per se. It's just like a thing probably made by this one character named Avon that is just insanely powerful, and it's not totally clear like at all how he is even able to produce these things in the first place. And basically every one of those things is like the entire reason there's even a problem in the show. And then there's also just fucking people that are like good people that are like also don't have powers but seem like they do.
So just normal people.
So like Justin.
Yeah. Just like Justin, but don't say that because there is a Justin in the show.
Oh no!
So that might get a little confusing. Okay, no. So let's go ahead and get to the.
You forgot to say cats.
Oh yeah, there is. Cats are distinctly different from witches in that they look just like witches, they act just like witches, they use their spells just like witches, but they're cats. Okay, now moving on.
Yep.
So, I'll talk about the 3 one-shots as quickly as I can. Okay, so one involves the cat. It's how Soul and Maka get their cat.
What do you mean by a one shot?
One shot is a single chapter. So they made a single chapter about each of the 3 teams as like individual stories that would never get made into a full product. And then eventually they did.
Okay.
So there's one about Maka and Soul where they have to get just a witch soul because they already have the 100 bad people souls. They get to the witch, which is Blair. Notice I just said she's not a witch. She's a cat.
Yeah.
So they defeat Blair inevitably. And by the way, they eventually take her in as their cat, which is weird as hell.
That is
it's
weird
just
because she's a
giant-breasted woman, actually. But whatever. And then they kill her, eat the soul.
They kill her?
Yeah, I'm getting there. They eat the soul, and so once the soul goes into Soul's body, since it's not a witch soul or a bad person's soul, so to say, he spits it out, and he's like, ew. And then she just comes back to life because cats have 9 lives and becomes their animal. Oh. And Soul has to restart the entire fucking process of getting the 100 souls.
Wait, so
what?
So
exactly. So this is an immediate confusion point. He has to restart it because she wasn't actually
he
a
only
witch.
puked out 1 soul.
Yeah, too bad.
So Blair's a cat.
Blair's a cat, yeah.
But is it like she is a cat that can turn into a human, or she's like a human that
she's a cat. They say that is her main thing is being a cat.
Okay, but what makes her be able to just turn into like a human looking
magic powers?
Magic power. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing cats do, Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, so I remember in the anime, doesn't Soul actually eat the soul of Jack the Ripper?
He does that too. That's how he gets the 100th one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack the Ripper is one of the people on the list. There's a lot of like people like that. Like
we
Capone.
We don't know his name.
What?
Shut up. What are you even talking about? Okay.
How would they know? How would they be able to catch him? No,
How they know it's
him.
Jack?
Yeah.
I mean, they did catch him.
His name is not Jack.
No, they never caught him.
I mean, that's what they call him. It's a nickname, bro.
Yeah, but he thought
he probably looked like
Black Star is a fucking real name.
Okay,
just call him Black Star.
Justin, did you think Jack was his real name?
I mean, he might look like a Jack.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know what he looks like.
He thought Jack was his real name.
Yeah, he might look like a Jack.
I mean, they call him Jack the Ripper, bro.
Yeah.
What was he supposed to do? By the way, Black Star is his actual name. I pranked y'all.
Also, Jack the Kid.
Okay.
By the way, the second one shot is about Tsubaki and Black Star going to hunt down a witch who is in the presence of a mafia made up of 100 bad people.
Okay.
So that they can take out the entire mafia and then they can eat the witch's soul. Fun fact, the witch is like 4 years old. He gets there and he's like, because he doesn't want to kill this dead ass child. So here's the thing that I think is pretty interesting is they bring up around here that witches don't become evil until they grow old enough that they essentially hit puberty and get their powers. So it's basically like essentially saying that once you get your powers, then you become evil.
What?
Which makes the whole thing where like he decides that they're evil, like Shinigami does, sound even more sus because he's like, well, yeah, you weren't evil until you had things that could threaten me whatsoever. Yeah. But until then, you're kind of good. You're kind of Gucci. Also, they call it the destructive wavelength. I'll talk about wavelengths in general a lot in this fucking thing. So we'll get there. So they beat all the like mafia members. Actually, he doesn't. The bodyguard for the little girl does. Now, the bodyguard for the little girl has a sheath the size of a person that has 100 swords in it, and he throws them all onto the ground and like jumps on top of the swords and starts picking them up and just throwing them at you and flinging them at you. Cool. And he actually beats the living daylights out of Black Star. It's not close at all. And then he's like, "Yeah, I won't let you have the witch." And Black Star's like, I
can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, and then that's it. Okay, so the third one shot is about Death the Kid. So Death the Kid has, I don't know if this is like severe ADHD specifically or like OCD or something, but if things are not exactly in even numbers and or perfectly symmetrical, he gets like so tilted that he nearly dies in the show multiple times because he gets mad about it. And it's to a point, that's why Patty and Liz have identical outfits.
Okay.
everywhere they go. Like they wear the same exact clothes because, by the way, they were like literally living in poverty and homelessness. And Death the Kid's like, I like that there's two of you, so my hands can have symmetrical guns. So he pays for everything for them for the rest of their life, so he can have two of the exact same weapon because having one would be asymmetrical.
Wait, so what makes them like weapons specifically? They're just like people that like live in the world. They're just people that live in the world, but they can turn into weapons.
Just turn into a weapon.
What in their genetics is like, okay, soul is a
so they're just magical. That's why.
We'll talk about that a little bit. Yeah, I mean, essentially, like they also sometimes just have extra powers that are like, what the fuck? How? Like,
so like how do they figure this out one day? They're just like chilling sometime and they just like randomly turn into a fucking gun.
Y'all are gonna keep asking about this. We'll talk about it now. So Soul's fucking name is Soul Eater Evans. Weapons eat souls, right? He finds out he's a soul weapon when he's like 16. So his parents just like boxed him in, bro. They're like, yeah, that's what you're going to be because we named you that shit. But he was actually going to try to become like a professional pianist until he found out that he was a weapon.
And then he became edgy? Or was he edgy?
I guess he was edgy looking already, but yeah.
What's stopping him from becoming a pianist?
Literally nothing, but he just decided to be a weapon because he is one, I guess. Also, he's like jealous of his brother, Wes Evans. Very different naming scheme.
What's Soul's actual name again?
Soul Eater Evans, and his brother's name is Wes.
Wes. What is he? Does he get anything in the middle?
I mean, no.
Wow.
He plays violin though.
Wes.
Oh my fucking god.
Wes Muncher. Wait, but he doesn't. Never mind.
Yeah, I think it's really
Wes Violinist Evans.
I was about to say I'm trying to think of a pun for that, but I just can't.
It's actually so grim, but yeah. Okay, back to Death the Kid real quick. Okay, so Death the Kid is the son of Death. Very good naming scheme. Why not just Death the Second or Death Squared or whatever the fuck we're talking about?
Well, because he uses guns.
I guess, yeah.
That just reminded me of fucking. I think it was in the. Shit, what was the third episode? It was Beelzebub, where we were talking about like it's the people within like your brother and sister being like named the same thing as you, but your brother is Junior and like your sixth brother is like the sixth or whatever. If you had another child, do you think it would be Death the Kid Junior?
I actually don't know, bro. I don't know what he'd call him.
Wait,
I don't know how he had kids at all.
I think it would be Death the Second Kid.
Yeah. But by the way, there is literally no mention of Death the Kid's mother ever. Like it's not even like they don't even consider talking about it.
I feel like from what I've been able to tell here, I think that because Death is just magic and like specifically more magic than probably anyone, he can just like do things like that, you know?
Yeah. You know what's funny is he like never uses magic. He just chops people with his hands. Like,
but I mean, like I'm sure his magic makes him like powerful enough to just use his hands, right?
Kind of. I don't know why he has the foam.
He might be hands. Like Gone.
That's possible.
But I feel like he probably just has the most powerful weapon in the world. He said he just uses his hands. I mean, that's like a supreme power boy. I feel like if you don't even have to like chop people with it, you could just like stand within like a 5-foot distance of someone and just like use his magic super force powers and just like strike down a boy, and then like just the pure force will just push people back and like make them explode.
Oh, that would be cool. I'd like that. I mean,
he does do something like that eventually. Well, kind of, but like, it's not like an explosion. But
Death the boy.
Yeah, but like whenever you get called to the principal's office, which is just a fucking empty room with a mirror in it that he stands in all day, he actually boy chops you if you're in trouble.
What? Oh wait,
that's how
so
he
is it
punishes
like
kids?
Okay.
By the way, they go to an academy where they're trained to do this shit.
Oh, so they go to school.
Yeah, they go to school. Yeah.
Classic.
Do you think he?
So can anyone go to the principal, or is it just like specifically people within the school that?
I mean, other people do talk to him, yes, but like it's.
But when they get sent, is it going to the principal?
He'll like call them down. Yeah, it's just like that.
And so he is the principal of.
Yeah, he's also the fucking like commander in chief of the planet.
Of the planet. Okay.
Well, he's essentially world president.
I was about to say, I mean, yeah, he does command like basically everything.
And by the way, they live in Death City, which is located in the U.S. And there are 8 branches of their of like the weapon schools around the world, but all the best students go to his school.
Okay.
And that's in the U.S.
Yes.
You know, I gotta
Yeah.
respect that they made the main base outside of Japan, because like
That's-
be
I mean,
That's pretty baller. Yeah.
everything is.
There's
in
only
this-
It's
one character,
interesting,
like,
but
from
like
Japan, I think.
the way the show looks, I mean, it doesn't look like the U.S. either.
I mean, I feel like you could
It
make
really
this,
doesn't.
you could make this show and like say it's anywhere and like you can make it work.
Yeah.
Right. Finally get to Death the Kid.
Wait, but
All right.
okay, what at the school what do they teach? Is it just being a
Dude,
killer?
it literally
thing?
just seems like a normal school curriculum. And then every so often they'll be like, fight each other to death. I shit you not. That's literally all it seems like they
Bro,
do.
that reminds me. It's like I think they did this in My Hero and like Jujutsu Kaisen, where it's like, you know, we're just in school doing these school things, whether you know it be different, you know, related to what the show is about. But there's like always that one part. It's like, okay, we're learning. Now it's time for y'all to fight each other and like most likely put you in a situation where you're probably gonna die.
That actually happens a lot.
Yeah, like
dude, he will send their ass to fucking like London and be like, yeah, fight this guy who is like fucking immortal and could rip you in half immediately. But yeah, you know, it's just part of the job. Okay, so let me get through the Death the Kid one shot, please, before we say anything else. Okay, so Death the Kid and Patty and Liz are just chilling at his house, which, by the way, is made completely symmetrically. It did not used to be like that. He redesigned it. He actually has like it sounds like he has like an interior designer he hires to do this shit. And the whole thing is he's getting upset that one of the picture frames is at a slight tilt. So he starts screaming at Patty and Liz because the picture frames are at a tilt. So what he decides to do is yell at them even more because they're not exactly the same, because Patty is shorter and Liz is taller, and Patty's hair is short, Liz's is long, and Patty's boobs are bigger and Liz's aren't. So he literally grabs onto their breasts and starts screaming at them about it. And he's like, can y'all do anything about this? It pisses me off. And they're like, bro, you're the one who like picked us as your weapons, bro. And he's like, fuck it. We need to go to Egypt right now. And I'm like, what is this like sequence of events?
Yeah.
So they go to Egypt.
that's where Dio is.
Yeah. So they go into the cave where really long time dead
most
Dio.
powerful witch.
And so they get into this fucking cave, and there's this creature he sees who is like a perfectly symmetrical sarcophagus, and that's who they have to kill. And he's like, I can't do it. I won't kill it.
Wait,
and
so
they're like, you have to. It's a fucking perfectly. But he's like, it's perfectly symmetrical. Do you know how many things are perfectly symmetrical?
So
I'm not killing
the
it.
person themselves is a sarcophagus.
That
It's not
is
like a
kinda how
person
you said.
within
the
it.
sarcophagus is moving right now. I'll get to this in a second.
Okay.
So then the mummy comes out of the sarcophagus and it's not symmetrical at all. And he literally shoots like 7 million shots at it and just eradicates it.
Does he take the sarcophagus?
No,
What?
no, because he destroyed it. He like destroyed the fucking pyramid they were in too. He eradicated that thing because
I
it was
mean,
literally like the most asymmetrical monster you could
pissed
imagine.
Pissed him off, man.
It made him mad. Also, the reason he uses them like this, he does not really fire his guns as much in the mangas he does in the show. He mostly just fucking like hits people with them. He uses them as like basically like tonfas.
Okay.
And it's called, I think it's called Shinigami Jujitsu or something. You know that thing his dad doesn't do ever?
So
Okay.
does he have?
Oh, actually, wait a minute.
Does
Not
he have
quite yet.
infinite ammo?
Yeah.
He
Okay, for sure.
doesn't have to reload.
Yeah, they fire their wavelength out of the bullets. Don't even worry about that yet. Okay. Let's move on to the first episode. So Black Star, Tsubaki, Soul, and Maka. Okay, this is where the manga officially starts.
How long have we been going? We're starting
48 minutes.
48 minutes. Let's start with
Okay,
the
this is
first
totally
episode.
your fault, dude.
This is definitely, you usually stop asking questions. I'm going to get to it, bro. I'm going to get to it. Okay. I brought up about 20 things I was going to bring up anyways. Okay.
Hey, see, I'm helping out.
All right. So
I'm just curious. I need to know. We're trying to learn about this, and I'm
it's
actively
true.
learning.
I mean, that's fair. He is learning.
Do you think Death the Kid has a mirror?
Yes, he does.
Okay, if he looked at it, why hasn't he killed himself yet?
Okay, so that's a great point. So he actually has like
True.
basically straight depression because his hair doesn't match on both sides. It makes
Okay.
him very.
Can you just like dye it to?
Yeah. Why didn't
no,
he just-
he can't.
No.
They actually, I think they said it like comes out immediately.
Could you just shave it?
Oh, dude, we have Grayson. Don't even worry about that. Okay, now, but
yeah,
yeah,
why doesn't he just shave it?
Because he literally can't. Those are like the source of his power. Those lines in his hair.
Okay,
I'm like
wear
not
a
even
hat.
kidding.
Bro, does he have
Wear a
extra
hat?
wavelengths in
I
his
mean,
hair?
he could wear a hat, but like he probably won't.
He could wear a hat.
I mean, I don't know. It's like a whole thing like that. You can't fix it.
Dude, wear a hat. Man.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it would still be there.
Yeah, but he wouldn't see it.
Okay, that yeah.
Maybe
okay.
he feels like he's just hiding the truth that he is asymmetrical.
I mean, he definitely is really upset about it.
Okay.
It's a pretty common issue in the show. Okay, so let's get into the show finally. We've only covered the one shot so far that are not even like basically they don't even seem canon. Okay, so now they're at school. Black Star, Tsubaki, Kid, and Maka are called to the office, and they're basically in threat of being expelled. They are frankly ass at their job. And
this is all three of them.
The main four, yeah.
Wait, four?
The four that aren't Death the Kid, Liz, and Patty are called to the office.
Oh, the two and their weapons.
Yeah.
Okay. The two. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So that group of four is called down, and they're told that they have to go to a graveyard to pass an extracurricular lesson where they're going to fight one of their ex-teachers who is now a zombie because he died a few weeks ago. Now, he comes out, and his whole gimmick, his name's Sid. He's on like page 2. And his whole thing is that he will say something, and then he'll be like, that's the kind of man I was.
He looks like
he's dead.
like some fodder character from Naruto.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's wearing one of those Naruto headbands.
Yeah, he's in fact really important.
If he had
Just the whole
anything
show.
on his headband, what would it be?
No clue.
You don't think he would just have the death,
okay
the
sign.
death face?
Which
I mean,
you mean
probably.
a skull?
Okay.
Little skull, yeah.
Yeah.
Little tiny skull guy.
He's from the like Shinigami clan.
Sure.
Yeah.
So he's a ninja. That's ninja.
Oh.
Yup.
God.
Also, one thing that's weird about this is like they establish like immediately that they know he's going to turn into a zombie. I don't know why nobody else does. This is the only guy who does this. And also, the thing that's weird about him being a zombie is that he's like literally the same guy. And he's like completely functional. And I'm like, why do people die at all in this universe? I don't get it. Like they establish no reason why he should be the only one who can do this. But okay. They get there and they're going to fight him. He picks up a tombstone out of the ground and starts swinging the shit at them. And they're like, dude, how are we going to beat this dude? He's like actually going to kill us. And Black Star's like, I got an idea. So he says, yo, Sid. And Sid's like, what's up? And he grabs Tsubaki's skirt and lifts it up. And then while he's looking at her panties, he knocks him out cold. And that's it. That's the lesson. There you go.
Oh my God.
That's how they.
yeah.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Okay, so Black Star is like the Soul and Maka are like, dude, how are we supposed to beat this dude? And Black Star goes, yo, I got this, and he just lifts up Tsubaki's skirt, and then Sid looks at it
And immobilizes him.
and then Black Star just knocks him out.
Okay.
I really thought it was going to be something like, yo, we used to be your students. You remember that?
Bro, that's not cool enough.
That's not cool. You're right.
Nah, it would be a little less awesome.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I do want to bring up is the real reason that they're there is because there's a house in the graveyard owned by a guy named Dr. Stein. And Stein used to be the weapon partner of Maka's dad. But he quit being partners with Maka's dad and became partners with Maka's mother. Maka's mother became partners with Maka's dad instead because Stein would experiment on Spirit when he was asleep. And one of the things about the series is you have to room with your weapon. So while he would go to bed, he would like dead ass like fuck with his body. And so he stopped hanging out with him, you know. But
the mom
still hangs out with the dad, yeah. Until she doesn't because she divorced his ass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so while this is happening, he comes out and he's like, hey, what's up? Why are you here? And they're like, well, we were doing a lesson for the school. And he's like, I'm going to attack you. So he starts attacking them. And basically what you need to know is they get straight bopped. And then eventually they hit him like basically one time. And he's like, all right, yeah, good enough.
That's like Fairy Tale.
Yeah, kind of. Except they don't win immediately because of it, like in Fairy Tail.
Okay.
Yeah, they would have.
So they hit him and he's just like, okay, you got me.
It was a game of tag.
Because like if he had actually fought them, he would have killed them in like a minute.
Yeah, so like a game of tag kind of thing. Like,
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
So they do actually do something to him, and then he's like, "All right, yeah, good enough." So then they go to school the next day, and this dude's just their fucking teacher now. So there you go. There's that. Also, Sid is now a teacher again. I don't know why they didn't go get him immediately when they knew he would just be a zombie, but whatever.
So they just went. Death sent them to just fight their two soon to be teachers
and not kill him.
And not kill him.
Did they ever say like
Sorry,
why specifically they sent them to just fight those two guys?
Yeah, I mean it was just like to make sure that they weren't.
Can you
gonna like actually be terrible at their. I don't know.
Could they? Yeah.
Y'all asking too many questions that don't get answered. If y'all asking about literally everything, I'm just gonna be telling you I don't know a lot.
I mean, hey man, at least we know that you don't know.
That's true.
Fair. That's true. Okay, so now what I wanted to talk about is there's a group of characters that I'm not going to bring up till later. That's on like maybe the third slide or something like that. They're another group of three teams of weapon Meister pairs that are literally super important after a certain point in the story, but they just act like they didn't exist for the first part. I swear to God, the author just thought of them later. But I wanted to bring them up now because I'm going to talk about them a little bit before we actually get to when they come into the story. But the next thing I want to talk about is Krona and Medusa, who I think are on the 4th page? Question mark?
Oh, dude. Who? Justin?
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Wait. I see. Oh, Krona and Medusa.
Yeah,
okay.
So they go to Italy to fight this monster.
Wait, these two do?
No. Sol and Maka. Sol and Maka go to Italy.
Okay.
And when they get there, Krona is in a church and has just like killed a bunch of people. Krona has her weapon partner is like infused in her back. And about Krona, real quickly, is in some translations is androgynous, and most official ones is a boy. So we'll just go with it's a boy, but it could be whatever you want, I guess. And it has like their blood is like black, and their partner is infused in their blood. So he like is really mean to him. He just like beats up Krona. Like he'll like come out of his back and just punch him in the head. And so Medusa is the one who like put the monster in Krona and is like telling him what to do. And Maka and Sol go to fight them. And whenever the black blood's in your body, it basically makes you an insane person. And while they're fighting them, the important part about this is that they don't see what Medusa looks like, 1. And 2, Krona cuts them and gets his blood inside Sol. So that's like basically the main plot point of the entire series is that Sol got the blood in his body. Most things that they are able to do are directly correlated with that. The next thing that happens is basically just like a short kind of backstory part for Black Star, where they go to this village where Tsubaki's brother is believed to be killing a bunch of people. And Tsubaki's brother, for some reason, is like this sword. He's a weapon also, and he can like turn into like a katana that it can control shadows and shit. It's kind of weird though, because the guy whose shadow he's controlling doesn't seem to be cognizant of that at all. And in order to actually fight the brother, they have to go into the shadow. And while they're in the shadow, Black Star, apparently his father, get this shit, is a well-known ninja who would just massacre people for essentially no reason. So
I mean that's what ninjas do.
So while he's in this village, his dad, White Star, by the way, that's what they call him, had apparently gone to this village and killed a bunch of people at some point. So he has to sit there and wait for Tsubaki to come out of the shadow after beating her brother. And while that's all happening, Black Star is just getting beaten up by the villagers. And he's like, yeah, I'm not just going to attack random citizens until later when he does, because he gets annoyed. But long story short, Tsubaki beats her brother and then somehow, in defeating him, absorbs his power. So now that's like Black Star's broken thing he can do now is control his shadow. But the thing with the sword is like raises heart rate or something like that. I don't know. eventually they just kind of cut that out because it was inconvenient. So, but for a while they care about that.
Classic shonen powers.
It really is just like super. And after this point, while Black Star and Soul are in the hospital at their school because they have like an infirmary, the doctor comes in and the doctor is just dead ass Medusa. The picture y'all have, she's actually in her outfit she wears at their school. And so the thing that's weird about this is the fact that you would think, well, wouldn't they just fucking know? Like Medusa is one of the most well-known witches in like the history of their entire planet. And like Death does know who she is. How the fuck does he not know that's what she looks like?
I thought just witches were just bad.
Yeah, they are.
Why is she the doctor?
She's specifically bad, but they don't know that that's her because witches can switch into different bodies. So this is a new body for her, one. And the other problem is that they have this spell that I have to bring up because they make this really important called Soul Protect, which makes it so that you cannot detect that they're there or that they're witches. Which you would think would give them away when you just can't sense their soul whatsoever, but whatever. I've thought about that a lot where it's like, if you just couldn't sense their soul, wouldn't you just assume that's a little weird and you should probably be able to do it? But whatever. So they can't sense that she's a witch for that reason. It really doesn't matter because literally the next thing that happens is Death the Kid goes to a ship and the Flying Dutchman's there. Not important character, he gets bopped. But Krona's there too, and Krona alludes in some fashion to the idea that there's someone in the like school that is like trying to fuck them over. And so Stein and Medusa, Stein is like really sussing her out. I don't know why he just did.
Maybe he had a crush.
Kinda actually, because we're about to get to the school ball in a second here where that kind of is true. Mm-hmm. But while this is all happening, they're doing like the whole thing where he's like sussing her out and shit. And while that's happening, they're at the ball and Medusa is like, the plan's a go, right? So there is a part right before this, okay, where they went to London. And because the immortal man had broken free from prison, he's also on the 4th page, and he's the guy with the like weird symbol on his eye. And he is the dude I talked about who is like basically a witch, but he's a guy for some reason.
What's his name?
His name is Free.
Okay.
Because he's free now and he doesn't remember what his name was, so he just calls himself that.
I mean, makes sense.
Yeah, that's what they said. And I'm like, that's fair.
Yeah.
So Free is like on London Bridge and he fights them with this chick named Erica, who's the frog witch. She's also on that page. She's like right next to him, I think.
Oh, dude, it's like Froppy's younger sister.
We've already seen like all of the characters now.
I'm telling you, like, there's not a big cast for the show necessarily, but yeah.
Must.
Now, they basically get away from them and somehow survive that. To be fair, I think they should have probably died, but it's unimportant. That guy also can use ice magic and he can warp shit. That's actually important later, so I want to bring it up now. When they get to the school, Medusa actually was the one who freed Free so that he would do something for her involving the school. And Erica, she blackmails into it. And then Krona, we'll get to why Krona's helping her in the first place very shortly.
Bro, so Medusa's just up to some shit right now.
Yeah. So during the party, Free, since I said he can warp shit, he warps them into a giant cube that they cannot escape for some reason. So then they all escape the cube.
Of course.
Erica, Free, Medusa, and Krona. Krona actually just flies in because she has
nothing
wings.
says anime like they can't get out of this cube, so they get out of this cube.
They're supposed to be able to get out of the cube.
Oh, okay.
He just lets them
they're
out.
the back.
Yeah.
The back
so then Shinigami's like, what do we do?
Is he also in the cube?
Yeah.
Wait, who's
Okay,
Shinigami?
because-
Shinigami?
That's Death.
Death.
Yeah.
Okay.
They call them both, so it confuses me, but yeah.
He'll never miss a ball. He's definitely.
They got to be vibing.
He's a dancer, right?
Sure. But yeah, so
I mean, I bet he's got some moves.
He's got the giant hands, bro. He
Yeah,
can do a lot
bro.
with
I think
that.
he dances like upside down. Like,
Imagine how easy it would be to
uses-
do like the fucking like break dancing
Yeah,
shit
like
with
he
hands that
uses
big.
his hand as like his main point of emphasis in his dancing.
Probably. Bro.
Is only one of his hands that big? Or are they both?
I think they're
big?
both that big, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, once they get under the school, she reveals her whole plan. Okay.
Medusa, right?
So
Okay.
she reveals her plan and it cuts to Shinigami being like, okay, I've got to be honest with you, a few of you students. So he pulls aside the students he was just about to expel and he says, y'all are some of my better students. Makes a lot of sense. What I need y'all to do,
this guy already.
and what
It's
he
tough
actually
love.
means is your main characters. So he says, okay, so I conveniently have enough time to make a hole in the box for just the main characters to get through.
Mhm.
However, I need to tell you why they're doing this, I think. So I kept the most evil man of all time literally right beneath our school.
Which is
And-
free.
No, it's a guy named Keishan. Different character.
Okay.
Free was broken out of the land of the witches because he stole the mother of all witches. He just ripped her eye out. I don't know
Okay,
how he
is that-
did that, but the reason he could use like space teleportation magic is because she can, and he ripped her eye out and jammed it into his own eye.
Okay,
It's also
I
why
wanna
he
s-
can't die.
I want to say I feel like he brought it up to them, who he was going to expel, not because they're main characters, but probably because he's like, I don't care if they fucking die.
He's a pretty expendable gentleman.
Yeah,
So that's
exactly.
why he then sends his best Meister and best weapon with them too. Because so Stein and Maka's dad go with them also. They get down and let me elaborate a little more. So he kept the most evil man in history like, ever underneath the school, dead ass.
Uh-huh.
And the reason why he never leaves the school and built the school in the first place is so that no matter what, if somebody was going to attack and try to free that dude, he would know immediately. In fact, he's been in the city for so long that he cannot leave. And his soul itself is so ingrained into the city that his soul literally wraps around the city at all
You
times.
talking about death or the
Dude,
bad guy?
America's only like how many 100 years old?
Old enough.
I'm old enough to
It's
where
definitely old
he
enough.
can't leave
Wait, you
because
talking
he's
about death?
been
Yeah.
Okay.
So Death
Oh.
literally never leaves Death City ever.
Well, why would anyone be like, this guy is the president of the world? You can do something around the world and he can't do shit.
That's fair.
I mean, he could like.
That's a very good point. I thought about it.
He could like send someone to do shit. You know.
I mean, that is the whole point of like, that is, it seems like he's a pretty like snarky dude. It seems like the whole point
He's
of
definitely
getting
a
the
goofy ass
souls is
fella.
literally just, I need these kids to kill these things for me. Like,
Honestly, a
this
lot of it does
just
seem
child
like
labor.
he's like, yeah, I really need people to be able to do this that aren't me,
Yeah.
or this will be really bleak really fast. But yeah, I've thought about all these things before. I'm like, this is a weird system. But yeah, also like they're building their weapons for this dude who can't leave to use them. It's like, well, okay, whatever. So they go underneath the school. And Medusa is immediately standing right there, and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna fight all of you all at once. So immediately Death the Kid, by the way, Death the Kid has a flying skateboard. He just flies right past her. And so they're like, she's like, fuck. I didn't see that coming. So now Death the Kid's already going. Black Star is like an Olympic level athlete. Gone immediately. And she's like, oh fuck. That's not what I thought was gonna happen. So she tells Krona to wait a little further ahead. So Krona is going to try to fight all of them now. So whenever Krona is sitting there, Death the Kid just flies right by her too. And the Black Star comes over and just like kicks him in the liver and then runs past him. And so immediately her plan is falling apart really quickly because Black Star and Death the Kid are already zoning in on Frog Chick and Free immediately. And so then Krona, Maka takes way longer to get past Medusa because Medusa's like, well, shit, I got to definitely stop both of these two. So Stein using her dad and Maka using Soul are fighting Medusa for a little bit. And Medusa's magic is weird, bro, because she's the snake witch. By the way, I want to talk to you about how they use their magic. So they just say a version of the type of animal they are. Like her most common spell she does is she goes like snake, cobra. That's how she does the enchantment for it. And then the guy who's like the Free says wolves because he's a werewolf. I don't know if I brought that up.
I mean, he is in London.
That's fair.
He does not look like it.
Much like Jack the Ripper wasn't in London. His werewolf form looks different. I just didn't include a picture of it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's really ugly, straight up. But yeah, they eventually Stein and Medusa are like just gonna fight on their own. Maka eventually gets away because Stein like really actively does stuff so that she can't chase him. I want to talk about something involving Stein real quick. He can literally use his soul to just stitch things to anything else from like a distance, and he never does it other than this one fight. But it would be like one of the most useful things in the entire series.
Bro, that also reminds me of JoJo in part 4. Fucking Okuyasu literally has like an insanely broken power. It's just amazing.
Too
but he just
stupid to use.
He just doesn't even use it properly.
He just doesn't do it. Yeah, it's kind of insane. Death the Kid also gets a lot of powers that he's just like the one time was good enough.
If they could use it properly, then it would just kind of break shit.
It would break the show.
So,
yeah. So when they get to Free and Erica, as you get close to the Kishin, well, we're gonna go back to Maka and Stein in a second. As they start to get close to the Kishin, what happens is the Kishin is so fucking insane. He was such a crazy person.
This is like the big
the
bad
guy. The guy underneath the school.
Yeah.
That he's unable to die so long as there's anyone insane on Earth. Do you understand how crazy that is?
What? Dude.
So the reason what they had to do with him is they ripped his skin off of his body and ripped all his organs out of like the flesh and like took his flesh and put it into a ball, jammed it into his skin and peeled the skin into a bag and hung it from this like ceiling underneath this building.
That's stupid.
Can we see a picture of what that looks like?
Yeah, you can like pull it up. It's just like a sack of skin with like 3 eyes on it, and inside is like all of his organs.
So what do I look up?
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Kishin.
I just look up Kishin.
How do I spell his
skin
name?
sack?
How do I spell his name?
Kishin.
Like, I'm sorry, but that's really dumb.
Well, that's how they had to stop him because any other way you would just reform.
Wait, what
that was like that was a way that worked. I guess it doesn't really.
They were like,
what did you say? Look up.
Just here it is. Look at this.
Yeah, that's him. So that's the bag of skin.
Justin looks disturbed.
No, I looked up Kishin ballsack. Did you say ballsack?
No, I said
not ball
I said
sack.
skin
You're
sack.
you're gonna find some extra.
We took his ball sack and we put all of his organs in his ball sack.
You don't got
Show us the images.
Dude, he's finding dead ass porn.
He is. Let me see the actual image. Let me look at this.
Okay, no, this is what it looks like.
That looks like a knapsack, dude. That's not skin.
Well, I mean,
skin.
this definitely looks like. I mean, maybe if I saw this,
I mean, there's
originally,
no blood in his skin.
I
so
wouldn't
that's probably
think this,
why.
but like if you told me like this is some being like sealed, like the chains like definitely give off like this is like some powerful thing.
If you
being
told me
sealed,
someone's
you know?
organs and bones and everything is in there, I would just be like,
Yeah, so well, so they as Black Star and Death the Kid start to get close to it, they're like, by the way, wait. The plan for Medusa here is she made Krona so that Krona's blood would contain insanity inside of it. I'll explain what that kind of means later, I guess.
No. Oh,
So-
wait. Doesn't that just mean that Soul Eater Evans
He will start going insane. Yes.
No.
But so she pulled.
He's
So what she
already
did is she gave them a syringe like this big, like you would have to hold it like this, like a baby, bro. And they're gonna go up to the Kishin, and because the Kishin's skin sack has no blood in it, she's gonna put the insanity blood in the sack, and it will revive him.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sorry.
Well, then it's kind of, why would she have Krona be there to fight them if Krona is that important?
Well, Krona doesn't need to do it. They already took the blood out of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The other two have the syringe.
You're saying Krona is a him?
Usually, it's referred to as a him.
Okay, I thought that was the character, and the thing on its back was separate.
No, the character on its back is its weapon partner that's inside of its body. That's Ragnarok.
Okay. So, like I was gonna say, I'm sorry if I missed this, but what is obviously Medusa's trying to like free the bad guy, right? But what are, and I'm guessing the students are there to like stop them, but what made them go down there originally? I
Death
can't
Death
remember.
ask them to do
Death
it.
told them to go
Because
down
he
there
knew
and
this was
stop
going to
them.
happen. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And
If
Death
it-
stayed to protect the students. But
Can't he just do it himself?
couldn't Death do it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, maybe it's just more fun for this guy. I think he's the probably
He thinks
he's the
this
coolest.
is more baller, you know.
He's
I was
the
about to say,
coolest
yeah.
character so far. in my
I mean,
opinion. Like,
if
final shot.
he can't leave the city, his options of entertainment are very limited.
Yeah,
So like,
they literally brought the entertainment to him. He is
Yeah.
a giant scumbag, and I love it.
So then, as they go to like stop the Keishan, when you get close to it, this motherfucker's sack releases
This
the
dude's
insanity. It's called the insanity wavelength, which is we're going to talk about a lot. It makes people fucking go insane. So they get there and they're like, yo, we're going to do it. We got it. We stopped them. And they think they did it, but they're hallucinating. And then the fucking two people just walk up and go to the sack and just put it in. So because of the thing that the guy was radiating and the fact that they're not witches, they went insane. So it seems like for some reason, witches are partially immune to the insanity thing. Lucky for them, I guess. Now, let's go back to Medusa real quick. So the whole thing is like, Stein is like, where the fuck did you find this child that you could like cultivate into like this blood that you could take out? She's like, I just had a child. He's like, what are you kid? He's like, what? And he's like, yeah, I just fucked a dude, had his kid, and then turned it into a monster. And then it's explained how she trained Krona. Now let me go through this. So what she would do is she would give Krona picture books and then lock him in a dark room if he wouldn't do what the picture book said. And it would show a picture of a dog, or like a puppy, and it would show a picture of somebody stomping a puppy's head in. And then the next page would be somebody punching a puppy to death. And then the next page would be somebody like stabbing a puppy. And then she would send in 3 puppies and she'd say, do what the book said. And if she wouldn't, she would lock him in a dark room with Ragnarok, who would beat Krona senselessly until eventually Krona would be like, okay, mom, I'll do it. And it drove Krona insane to the point where the blood became potent enough to wake up the Keishan.
holy shit.
I mean, isn't it lucky that Krona's not a wit? Oh, Krona's a male.
Krona's male. Which is... would mean you can't be a witch, but it also doesn't in the case of the guy.
Well, and on the first page, you said that there is one exception where there's a witch
Which is free.
Free, yeah.
Wait.
He has like all the same powers as a witch, but
Okay,
they
because
just
he
don't.
took like the witch eye.
Yeah,
Right,
that
okay.
could be why, but it also seems like it's not why. It's weird. Free's a cool character. I like him, but he's a little confusing.
Bro, I imagine when Death is like sending them in, he's like, all right, guys, I need you to like deal with this insane sack. Like this dude's sack is on some insane shit. You need to take care of it.
I feel like our tech guy's looking at some insane sacks.
Oh,
That's
I
all
mean,
I'm saying.
whenever he looked up some stuff, I think we saw some insane sacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. So, by
Ball sack.
the long story short here, Stein actually cuts Medusa in half and then mutilates her.
Stein does? Oh.
Yeah, so she actually ends up losing to him and dies. But all she wanted was Keishan to come out. She did not really care about anything else. The next thing is that Krona is fighting Maka, and Maka, because Soul has the black blood in him, Maka throughout the fight also gets it in her. They're able to like synchronize souls with Krona, and they kind of see Krona's childhood a little bit. Whatever. And
Is
so
that when you learn about like
yeah,
how they were
so-
trained? Okay.
Maka's like, I feel like this isn't really this kid's fault. We should like convince them to stop. And they do. Okay, so there you go. They
Okay,
Bro,
so
they
they
used-
wouldn't defend their own teacher,
Dude.
but they're like,
Yeah.
but they're like, this guy is basically black marked us, and we're fucked for life.
It would be really
Let's hug it
cool
out.
if Black Star like convinced them, because like then they could have used like talk jutsu because he's a ninja.
That's true. They basically did it, but without him too. It's impressive.
I think there's definitely a lot of like connections here. Like the one dude, the zombie, what's his name?
Yeah, Sid.
Sid. Yeah,
Sid.
he's a Naruto. I was gonna say he's a
character.
Naruto. He is a ninja. You got the other guy that's a ninja, and then you got like some talk jutsu going on here. I think if we pay attention, we could like make some more connections later.
I think that's true. Wait, we're gonna have a lot to work with here.
Wait,
I'm pretty sure.
Is there a Sumaki in? No.
I don't know, honestly. Yeah.
Who is
important.
Who is Sumaki?
Subaki is his partner, Black Star's partner.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
what the fuck? I'm sorry. I thought
so-
you were talking like a Naruto character.
Yeah. So Kishin, as soon as it's a really bizarre scene when he comes back out because he's like, his bones and shit are like morphing into place. And he's like just this regular like skin guy with like no defining features at all.
Regular
and he just starts
skin guy.
screaming. He starts screaming and everyone in the city starts going insane. Like they start losing their mind. Oh, also I forgot there's a part where there's these little mouse witches that turn into a really tall mouse girl. And then
that.
Blair turns into a cat
Wait,
woman,
okay.
obviously, and they fight. And there's this like dude who owns like a shop that he makes food Blair likes, and they fight each other. And like it's basically just them being hot. Nothing else about it matters.
So where's Blair in all of this?
She just stays at their house, dude.
Okay.
And by the way, she'll wake up Saul in the morning by turning into a girl and like getting on top of him and like bothering him.
Okay.
It happens in like
Justin's
a lot
like,
of scenes.
oh yeah.
Justin's like, where can I get this cat, bro?
Okay. I need to piss really bad, dude. I'm sorry. We slowed down for a sec here, and like, I'm sorry, but I gotta pee, dude.
All right.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Have you ever wanted to make a podcast, but you have no idea where to start? Well, it's your lucky day because this episode of Content Crusaders is sponsored by Anchor. Anchor by Spotify is a free-to-use podcast distribution site that allows its users to distribute their podcasts on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Let me tell you from my own experience, when we first started the Content Crusaders podcast, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. But then I discovered Anchor, and they have made producing our podcast a piece of cake. What I really like about their service is they provide a dashboard containing a ton of useful information about your show, such as podcast performance, gender and age of your listeners, and even the geographic location of your listeners. Shout out to our one listener in Argentina, by the way. If you're currently listening to this, we just want to let you know that we love you. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. And did I mention that Anchor is free? Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
All right, we're back. Okay, so.
Oops.
All right. So, but yeah, long story short, Keishan like breaks out from under the floor in the city, and Death the Kid comes over and boy chops him like across the entire city. That's the scene I was talking about where it's like something like that kind of happens. And Death's like only thing. I meant Death did that, not Death the Kid.
Okay.
But Death like can like fly on like a fucking like shield looking thing that looks like his head, and that's pretty much like the only real magic he does. And he's just like boy chopping this dude, and eventually he's like, I'm just gonna leave, and Death's like, oh shit, I can't leave the city to stop you, fuck. And there you go, that's that. So
that's kind of the problem when you boy them across the city, is that you're like, oh,
all right, so I can't leave the city. If
So
he
bad
does.
guy escaped.
He is a
know.
scappy,
Okay.
and they have no idea where he went for like most of the show, dog. So we'll get there eventually, but
he didn't just. This guy's insane and the most evil. He didn't just start doing evil immediately.
I mean, he's probably smarter than that.
He does.
He's
What he
evil.
does
Okay, he's
instead
He's
is his wavelength, now that he's fully reformed, covers the entire globe. So everyone on the planet that's a little bit funky or a little bit weird or has some like kind of violent trait about them starts turning into like full on evil people, including people that aren't alive anymore start coming back. And this also includes other people that were sealed away by Death start waking up, particularly, go to the next slide, Mommy Spider. Okay, so Mommy Spider, Mommy Spider is Mommy Snake's sister, okay? Mommy Snake's not dead. So we'll start here. So
Have we talked about these people before?
we're about to.
Okay.
Mommy Snake is Medusa. Mommy Spider is Arachne. She is on the same page than Medusa is.
She looked like a mommy.
Yeah, Arachne is her sister, They don't look like it all, but they're sisters, I guess.
Okay.
And she was originally the creator of an organization called Arachnophobia, like a long time ago. And they went to like war with Death and like 10 of his friends, like ages and ages ago. The important part about this, that what you need to take from this is whenever this character comes back to life, it happens in a village filled with golems. And there's a guy in the golem village named Giriko. He's actually on the same slide with his homie Justin.
Oh, dude, this is a good picture.
Yeah.
And Giriko's the one on the bottom, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, and so Giriko is believed to be just this homie who needed help because he's like, all the golems in our village have started going insane and attacking people. He's like, yeah, I fucking made them do that. Psych. And Giriko is a weapon that is a chainsaw. And he trained the golems to use him as a weapon. And at this time, by the way, Krona is at their school getting rehabilitated to be like a normal fucking person. And Maka goes here to deal with this guy. While this is happening and they're fighting the golem, one of the golems, the oldest in the city, explodes while they're fighting with Giriko. And Arachne was living inside of it because apparently Death had sealed it in that golem. And then she's like, me and my companions are back. And all the fucking golems start just fucking exploding and all of her like subordinates start coming out of them. One of them...
All the subordinates of Mommy Spider?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Mommy Spider, by the way, only has 2 subordinates. You pretty much need to know it all. Oh, no, 3. Giriko, the chainsaw guy. Mosquito. Mosquito is my homie, bro. So Mosquito, by the way, is like maybe 2 feet tall. I don't know if you can tell in that picture, but he's really tiny.
Yeah, he's tiny.
He's really short.
And he's kind of got a baller design. I like him. He's cool. But
Yeah.
then there's Mifune, the swordsman from Black Star's One Shot, is back and he's been hired by her to protect a facility she owns where she produces, like she mass produces this chemical that they'll talk about later. During this whole scene, Medusa had taken over the body of a dog. Okay. Because she didn't actually die. She just turned her body into one tiny steak and slithered off, you know?
Of course.
She goes inside of this dog and this little girl comes up to the dog and is like, oh, puppy. And she crawls into the little girl's mouth and fucking like her body starts like, so she takes over the little girl's body and the mom walks around the corner and goes, where'd you go? And she's like, mommy, and goes over. And then the mom starts to notice this girl's fucking weird now. What the fuck happened to her? And eventually what they determine is that there's something wrong with their daughter. And she's like, what's wrong with me, mommy? And appears when they're like sleeping. And she's like scared of her. So she just turns over and doesn't talk to her. And then Medusa just leaves and never comes back. And there's all these like missing posters.
I was really hoping it was going to be like a do it again.
Like Medusa in the body of the little girl.
Yeah, has like disappeared now.
Okay.
Okay. So now we're going to cut to this part where Death the Kid gets sent by Death to go to a train in the middle of the Sahara Desert that endlessly goes.
Is it like in a circle?
It's just random, it seems.
Okay.
And
It doesn't stop.
Yeah, it just goes forever.
But it happens to always be in the Sahara Desert? Or is it
Yeah,
just
it
there
never
at
leaves.
that very moment?
And they're able to like find it.
Yeah. So believe it or not, that they like it seems like he put it there on purpose.
Death did?
Death did, yeah. And so he sent him to find an item that was made by a guy named Abon, who was one of his friends. Death the Kid, by the way, doesn't know that. Abon is treated in their history as like a bad guy, but actually he was like Death's best friend, basically. And Abon created this thing called the Eternal Spring. We are literally not going to get to why he wants that for like dead ass 80 chapters, so don't even worry about it for right now. But he makes this thing called the Eternal Spring, and he's supposed to go find it because the Eternal Spring is what is powering this train forever. He gets to the train, and there's this dude with like a fucking like a hook gun, and he smokes him. I mean, it's not really
Hook gun guy smokes Death the Kid?
no. Death the Kid just destroys this dude,
Okay.
and he's like, "Fuck your dad and Amon. I hate them both." And he's like, "Why would you hate them? Like, couldn't join together?" And he's like, because they're like homies, bro. And I don't know how this guy knows that. I guess he just lived forever. And so he goes over to like the box, like the conductor's room, and pulls out the spring. And in the train, their names are carved into it. Death and Avon's names. And Death the Kid's like, sussy amogus.
Is it like in a heart, like on a tree, you know?
Kind of, yeah, a little bit.
BFF's heart.
So the next thing that starts happening is they're like, dude, this is really cringe. What are we supposed to fucking do about this? So Death's
Death is saying, what should we do about this? Because Death the kid knows that they were homies, or what?
Well, okay, not that. He's actually talking about the arachne thing. I should have been more clear.
Okay.
And so Death the kid comes back by the way, and he goes to the library and starts reading a bunch of books about like the history of their like world, basically. And he's like, dude, what the fuck is going on? And while this is happening, 3 other death sites come to town. That's Justin, the guy on top of Yuriko. Well, his full name is Justin Law, and his cool thing, which I think is kind of ironic, is that he like doesn't listen to other people very well. So he actually has headphones in, and he doesn't like listen to people talk. He just reads their lips. So there's a bunch of characters who, for some reason or other, he can't hear because they have masks on and stuff. So whenever Death talks, he has Spirit speak for him. So he'll say it, and then Spirit will say it, and he'll read Spirit's lips.
I like this dude.
Also, so the spring, like Death just has a spring. We don't care about that for a while now.
Yeah, he gave it. Death Kid gave it to him. Right. Then, while this is all happening, they get a report that somebody had turned them in. What they don't know happened is that Medusa found Krona in the city, because Krona's been walking around like hanging out with Maka and stuff, and she basically bribed Krona into. So there's another thing I need to mention also. Stein has been slowly going insane.
That's not the zombie teacher, the dad,
like the doctor teacher. Yeah.
Okay.
He is slowly going insane, and Medusa's like, I need you to go into his house, and I need you to make him go even crazier by putting one of my snakes in his coffee. So go up to this teacher, Marie, who is one of the death sites that was partnered with him now, instead of Spirit. And I need you to put this shit in her coffee. And if you don't do it, I'm going to tell them that you're a spy, even though you're still a spy, even if I don't tell them. And she's like, okay. So Krona goes over to the house, and Marie is like this super nice lady who was put with Stein because she's like so nice that her soul gives off like a wavelength that's supposed to make him not go as insane as fast.
Is Marie in the
yeah, she's in one of the pictures.
Is this Maria?
I might have put Maria.
Is it this chick?
Yes. And she's a death site that's a tonfa hammer looking thing. And Krona succeeds in putting basically the poison in her coffee, and then Krona fucking just disappears. And they find out that somebody has been like betraying them. So they call in Budataki Joe. So Budataki Joe is the guy I said in the anime is an engineer, but in the manga, he's an interrogation expert. And they start pulling everyone into the room one by one and interrogating them on whether they think they're the person who's turning over information about the group. Because some way, somehow, there were multiple times where characters were getting outed for things that didn't really make a lot of sense. In the process of this, they find out that there's this weapon called Tempest, which is on an island somewhere. And inside this giant tornado is this thing causing Tempest called Brew, which is just this box. And what they want to do with it, they don't know yet, but Death sends all of the students to go get this. This is when I should mention that the characters I talked about, the second group of like 3 teams, becomes just basically full-blown main characters now all of a sudden.
Who were they?
So that's Ox, Keelik. Ox looks nasty, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Ox, Keelik, and Kim.
That looks like one of the members of the like bad squad from Teen Titans. Gizmo? He looks like Gizmo from Teen Titans.
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
Also, let me just say, I'm really excited to like review this because I have some opinions about like, everything you're saying.
So,
all positive.
As things are going here, they get to this island and they're like, Arachne is attacking, right? So is Medusa. While this is happening, though, Medusa sent someone else to go steal Brew while they're all having a war outside of the Tempest. Okay. So They succeed. They have the real brew and put a fake one there. So the whole time this battle doesn't even fucking matter. They just think they're fighting over the actual.
That's pretty smart.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. So the brew is inside the Tempest, which is like this giant storm.
Yeah.
And can you go over one more time what the brew is again?
It's just a box made by Avon, and I'll tell you what it does in a minute.
And who is Avon again? That was his friend. That was Death's friend, right?
Okay. That's like best friend.
Okay.
I'll say that's pretty
said,
smart of the bad guy. I mean, the bad guys have been doing pretty smart things, honestly.
But, and then the bad guys, which is specifically Medusa, has the box.
They already stole it. Okay, they already have that shit.
Okay.
Then Medusa is like finessing them in the city too. So she sends in a report to them. She knows of 3 witches that live in the city that are pretending to be regular citizens. 2 of which are the girls that go to the cabaret club that Spirit visits all the time. So these 2 girls that he goes and hangs out with and spends all his money on are actually witches, and we'll get back to why that matters in a minute. They go over to the they're
They don't
still
seem that evil. They're just like,
I mean, they're just being hot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, they're putting themselves out there. They deserve to be paid.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't disagree, but we got to get. I'll explain why they really care at all in a minute. So they're all of them are on the island. By the way, this includes Justin. Azusa, by the way, is a crossbow death scythe, and she's from Asia. I actually don't remember where Justin's from, and then Marie's from Oceania. And so they are.
So those are the weapons for the 3 people. Okay.
So then Stein and Marie are supposed to go into the storm to go get the box, but he can't do it because when you go into the storm, he starts going insane even faster. And it's also because Marie has the snake in her and doesn't know it. So it's making it so that her wavelength can't make him like mitigate his insanity anymore. So as that's happening, when they go into the Tempest is actually a like frozen in time, like replay of a certain event in history that they don't recognize. And in it, Death has like a mask on that looks like a regular skull, not like a cartoony mask. And he's like flying around the sky, like fucking up Arachne. And Avon's just kind of chilling there, like all sus like, just vibing. But none of it's real and they can't like talk to them or anything. Remember I said they can't talk to them or anything because that's not true. And then Mosquito is chilling there. And Mosquito comes out and he's holding a briefcase that he believes has the brew in it, even though it's a fake one. And then the 3 of them have to fight this dude. Now, in this particular instance,
the 3 of them, you mean
the main characters?
Kim, Ox?
No. The 3 main characters are also there, yeah.
They have to fight Mosquito.
They have to fight the Mosquito guy.
Okay, this Mosquito is real.
Yes, okay. Mosquito is real. And he has this thing he does where he goes back in time to when he was more powerful. And he'll say, like, depending on which form he turns to, he's like, this is when I was at my input, like adjective. So he turns into like, he goes, I'm going to go back to 200 years ago when I was at my strongest. And he just turns into this big, bulbous, fucking ripped ass man, but his legs are the same size. So he's just sitting there like running around on his fists.
Is he still like 2 foot tall?
Yeah, like his like legs are still like a foot tall, but his like the rest of his body is like probably like 10 feet tall.
So basically you're telling me at one point in his life he
just looked like that.
Do you think like he trained at certain points in his life to become like specifically like the strongest he could possibly be, and then one point it's like the fastest, so he could like go back and
yeah,
like,
fun fact, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
His next form is his fastest. But by the way he says it is this was when my nose was at its strongest.
What?
That's how he said it. Whenever he turned into the form.
Smells something good. And he's like, ooh, I gotta run.
Does he train his nose to be so
his nose isn't
fucking big that he like
different.
Pushes out air
he
where it like propels
that.
him through the air, so he's so quick?
I think it's more than just memeing on the fact that he looks like a monster, like an alien.
He looks like a mosquito.
So like, are you telling me like the point in his life when he was the fastest was also the point when his nose was so big, or are those different? Like,
actually, when he was fastest, his nose is really big.
It just happened to be big when he was.
I'm just saying, what it is he smells something good, and he's like, I gotta get there quick.
He smells mommy spider, bro.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, okay. So by the way, mommy spider like never leaves her headquarters, ever. But yeah, Mosquito
Mommy HQ.
fights them, and there's this thing that they do called soul resonance in the show, where they do these like super flashy, like it's like a super in a fighting game.
Yeah.
And whenever they do these, you can chain them together if you're like really synced as a team, but their team is frankly ass. So Soul, Maka, Kid, Tsubaki, Blackstar, Liz, and Patty are all like fighting, but they're getting their ass kicked because they have literally no teamwork. And Soul's like, what if I were to like do something that like I'm not supposed to do that would make it so we could team up better? And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? So Soul has been losing his fucking goddamn mind and he just wasn't telling anyone. There's a little red demon dude.
That's because he's got like the blood in him or whatever.
Yeah, there's this little red demon guy in his inside of him that he talks to in this black room with like red curtains and a ginormous grand piano in it.
Bro, he got his nine-tailed demon fox. What is it?
Nine-tailed fox.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of similar to that. And so he says,
Classic.
you'll play the piano, bro. Do it.
He's telling the little man to do that?
The little man's telling him to do
Okay,
that. So
okay,
he's inside of his weapon form in his own soul, starts playing the piano, and it starts spreading the insanity to the whole group. But for some reason, it makes them start linking together somehow. And as this happens, they start bopping the mosquito guy. What's more important to note is that the group is slowly starting to like go insane as like a group of people because of the fact that they chose to do that. Also, whenever he plays it, it always sounds like he's playing random ass notes. That's the part I was gonna maybe put in as a sound effect. Yeah, exactly. He like his whole thing is that he likes jazz.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
exactly.
Not to diss on freeform jazz, because it is pretty interesting, but I can understand why you would say that.
Yeah. So then he starts like, they go back to the city. They believe that by the way, they failed in getting it.
Yeah.
Even though they beat Mosquito. Because
it wasn't
Mosquito
there.
just like, even though they beat him, Mosquito was going to turn even further back, and they couldn't stay inside Tempest for long enough to keep fighting him. So they had to leave. And in that time, Mosquito, seemingly given later, turned into his fastest form and just dipped with the brew. So they didn't even get the fake one. But Mosquito then finds out that the fake one was fake. And
he didn't even know.
He didn't know. So when he gets back to the facility, he finds out that it's not real. Then Death's like,
he works for the people that were getting the
Mosquito works for Arachne. Medusa was the one who took it.
I thought Mommy Spider and Mommy Snake were like kind of on the same side.
No, they actually hate each other.
So they're both bad, but they're not aligned.
They're
Yes.
they're bad sisters.
Yeah, they're not like each other.
Say some sustenance.
So then they're like, okay, we need Joe to step it up. We gotta find out who told him. Because by the way, the reason we'll get to Joe again in a second. The reason why that they knew to go steal brew was because Krona told Medusa where it was, because Death told them. Now, the whole thing here is they're like, we need to step up our interrogation now. So whenever they get to the point where they think they're about to figure out who did it, who told them.
This is who's giving away like the information.
Yeah. Butataki Joe used to date Marie. I bring this up because they're about to go on a date again.
Ooh,
and then
is Joe?
He's
Joe
making
is in
more
like,
money. He's
Joe
finally got his
like,
job back together. His life is going good. Let's go, Butataki Joe.
Yeah. Okay. So on the way to the date, he gets murdered.
Okay.
Butataki Joe. Come on.
Joe is not in the pictures.
Okay. Earlier I was gonna say like I don't mean this as a joke, but like who's Joe?
Dude, how is this? Okay, it's good. Butataki Joe is just the interrogator who is asking.
Oh wait, that's the interrogator guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that in the show is an engineer.
Yes.
Okay.
And so they kill Butataki Joe.
No.
And they don't know who did it, but they have a lot of reason to believe that it was Stein because he's going insane.
No.
So
Dude.
all of the teachers come up to Stein's place and they're like, you need to leave, man. You need to run.
Okay.
Death is going to kill you.
Is it really that he's insane, or was he just jealous?
I mean, that Marie is his partner. He might
Yeah.
have been mad, bro.
I think he
might have
was
been
jealous
mad.
that his name was Joe.
That's true.
His name is Joe.
His name is even Joe. Like, I mean, that's such like an extra.
Hockey Joe.
That's such an additional
Okay,
flex.
I'm probably missing this. Who is? Oh, Marie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Marie and Stein leave the city together.
Yeah.
And you kind of won't see them for a while. Then the whole thing starts where they're like, okay, so we need to figure out how we're gonna stop Arachne more specifically.
Next slide now?
Yes. We probably should have done that a while ago, to be honest. So okay, the first operation I'm talking about on this slide, by the way, it was the Tempest thing, and the second one involves primarily invading her base. Before they do this, though, they finally find out who the witches were. It's the two people in the cabaret club and Kim. So Kim, from a very young age, had hidden the city because she didn't have her magic yet and knew she was going to become a witch. So she decided to become a meister from a young age and kind of like hide in plain sight kind of thing. As soon as they found out about her, she ran away immediately because Death murders those people. That's what he does. And so she runs away. Now, Ox and Keelik are like, that's really cringe. That's our homie. And so they want to go get her back. So they want to be a part of the operation on Arachne's place.
So
right?
they weren't like necessarily bad, but like
No,
they side with their homie, so they're like going to do bad things.
Well, they side with their homie. They want to get her back. They're not going to do bad things.
Okay.
Their homie is not bad. She just is a witch by like happenstance. So she was trying to just be a normal citizen, but then they found out, so she ran away.
So she's not actually, but wasn't she giving information, right?
No, she wasn't. But they think she might have been.
That was all Krona.
Okay.
That they think it might have been her as a result of the fact that Budataki Joe died and they never found out who was doing it.
It was basically all a ploy by Medusa, who said it's because of these witches. And it's
So what they do is Medusa contacts Death directly and says, I'll give you Brew if you let me lead the attack on Arachne's place. And he's like, this sounds like a shitty idea.
Yeah, it does.
And so,
but he can't leave a city.
So because he can't leave, he has to send them, right? And by the way, so she's located in South America. No idea why. That's where her base is. It's just like in the middle of the Amazon kind of thing.
There's spiders there.
And so basically what starts happening is Medusa, also Krona disappeared and they have no idea where he went. And while this is happening, Medusa, all of the kids are like, we obviously fucking hate you. We don't want to work under you for this operation. She's like, I actually don't really care about anything other than the fact that Arachne kidnapped Krona. Now, she says that it's to use the black blood to like tempt Kishan, I think, to come to like where she is, because she's trying to partner with Kishan. Arachne is. As this is happening, Krona and Soul, or Maka and Soul, the whole time are like, dude, fuck this bitch. There ain't no way she's not lying to us.
Yeah.
And there's like a whole bunch of scenes that they do to try to set up the idea that Medusa actually just wants Krona back.
No.
And so Maka is still, those two still just hate her, and the other kids are like, we just have to deal with it. We have like no choice. So they get to the HQ, and it's only Sid and then the group of kids, the 10 groups, the 10 kids total, or it's actually more than that, but yeah. Also, I want to real quickly mention the black guy Keelik. His weapons are those two little kids in the bottom right of that same page. That is Pot of Fire and Pot of Thunder. Those are what he calls them. And they are earth spirits.
Are they conjoined?
No.
I think they're just holding hands.
They're just holding hands, yeah. But one's a boy, one's a girl.
Dude, he has a gun on. Dude, he's got some fucking. Oh, he's got Pot of Fire. He's got that on his side. He's also got guns.
Yeah, his weapon seems really broken.
Oh, he got the AirPods too.
Got these hands, bro. But around this time, they get there, and so Kim ran away to Arachne because she had already been ostracized from the other witches, and Arachne is like, yeah, I'll take you in, but I need you to do something for me. When I said earlier that there was a plant where they were making something, they're making this thing called the moral rearrangement device or something like that. And so she goes in, and it's like this room filled with smoke that her workers will go into. And it's basically like super weed. And it literally turns you into like somebody who just doesn't really have morals anymore. So you just like don't give a fuck about anything anymore. And she's just trapped in there. So Ox and them sneak in, by the way. They just beat up a bunch of soldiers and wear their clothes in. And they get in. And there's this one part, by the way, where Maka's about to get found out by the chainsaw dude. So Liz and Patty take off their outfits, put on maid uniforms, and are like, hey, do you want to go drink with us? And he's like, bet. So that happens. And then they come back afterward and they're like, bro, we had a great time with him. That was awesome. And all the others have been like hiding in fear for days. And so what they did, by the way, in that scene is they put like sleeping pills in his alcohol. So he fell asleep. So he's just asleep the entire operation.
What were they doing? They just had they had a good time.
They were just drinking and who knows. Also, they both comment multiple times they think he's like super hot.
Oh, oh my God.
So then they put
That's
him
creepy as fuck.
Then they put him to sleep. All right. They come back. By the way, they can just, because they are with him, they just wear the maid outfits for this whole part.
All right.
And everyone else is in these like uniforms that the like arachnophobia wears. About this time, Ox passes the room where Kim, he heard that Kim was in from one of the soldiers. He goes in to find her. And then I forgot to mention this. Black Star was not with them because he was going through like a little bit of a depression patch because he just kept losing. And then he breaks in from the front entrance, just breaks in. And Mifune's there, the guy with all the swords. And Black Star's like, I got this all by myself, bro. And so immediately their cover is completely blown. Like they have to just go because Black Star completely ruined the entire point of their mission. So
Classic Black Star.
So Black Star's out front fighting the guy with all the fucking swords, right? And he can now turn like all of his versions of his weapon into like that black katana that can control his shadow, and it doesn't affect his heart anymore for some reason. So
I mean, he
trained.
He understood
train a little bit, yeah.
the power of ninjas. Just walk in the front.
Yep. That's how it be.
That's how ninjas do.
So while that's going on, Kim is like chilling in the chamber. And by the way, her weapon is a lantern that can shoot a flamethrower. And the lantern's like character's name is Jacqueline O'Lantern.
Okay. That's clever.
Yeah, he thought it through. That was pretty neat.
Yeah.
Pretty neat and nifty and cool.
And nice.
During this whole scene, for the most part, so Death the Kid, there's 8 legs on this spider base, and they have to go to each leg and destroy them one by one. They do this incredibly easily. I'll be honest, this is like kind of a bop from their perspective. They kind of whoop them, except for one of them, which Mosquito is waiting at. And so Death the Kid,
my guy.
So Death the Kid and Free fight Mosquito together, and he goes into his fastest form.
Helping? Oh, Free's on Medusa's side.
So Free is helping Death the Kid, and they've destroyed 5 of the legs already, and they're on their way to destroy the last 2. Kim, by the way, and Ox basically like talks her out of being a bitch, but there's this one part where his partner Harver is like, bro, she's like insane now. We gotta just kill her. And Ox is like, bro, no,
this was my whole thing.
Yeah, Ox is like, I want to save her, bro. I think she's hot.
Dude, do you see me? Someone's got to be insane to like me.
And then Harver's like, yeah, fuck it, and just stabs her in the chest.
Kim?
Yeah, Kim.
Damn.
He just stabs her straight in the chest and then like flings her, and he's like, we did it. We need to go. And then Kim just stands up because apparently her whole thing is healing magic.
Okay.
Which is, it is what it is.
Pretty convenient.
Stab her more.
Yeah. Eventually they talk her out of it, and then they go and start trying to.
They just fucking stabbed the shit out of her, but she's just fine because.
Well, yeah, she healed herself. Yeah.
Okay.
She just healed.
Stab her again.
I mean, that's true. They could have just stabbed her.
Just keep doing it.
But eventually, because they thought it wasn't going to work, they talked her out of it. What the craziest thing though is, so whenever Mosquito is in his fastest form, by the way, he just turns into this giant like pill dude. He looks like a big pill, and he has just these giant like fucking legs coming out of it. He's like 6 legs coming out of the giant pill shape.
What the fuck?
And he's like looks so nasty.
I want to see what this looks like. What do I look up?
You can try and find that. Just look up Mosquito Soul Eater, and you'll probably find it eventually. And so then they start beating him because Free is like freezing him in place, and then slowly, Death the Kid is just like, and so they're like, okay, I need to pop off more. So what he does is he turns into himself from 800 years ago when he's just like a dude who looks like a vampire to us.
I see that.
And he is just a vampire, basically. He has like bat powers and stuff now.
I don't see the pill one, but I do see the bat version.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's fine.
Then eventually he just starts fucking beating the shit out of Death, bro.
Dude, I really like this mosquito guy.
He's one of my
Wait, you said
favorites.
mosquito. I'm sorry. I was like looking at these pictures. You said mosquito starts beating the shit out of Death.
Like Death the Kid.
Oh.
And so he turns into like that vampire looking form.
Yeah.
And he's actually demolishing them. Like Free, if he wasn't immortal, would already be dead. And Death the Kid's about to die. And then there's this guy named Noah who shows up. And at the time they're calling him Abon. He's on the last page, I'm pretty sure. They call him Abon, but his actual name is Noah. He's like an imposter kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the entire time this guy like shows up and he's like, Mosquito's like, you can't, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be guarding Arachne. And this Noah guy's like, yeah, you can fuck off. And he grabs this book and just slams the book on Mosquito, and Mosquito gets absorbed into the book and is never seen again. What? And the Noah guy's like, I smell something. And he walks around the corner, and it's like this really frightening scene where he like walks around the corner and Death the Kid is like bleeding out, hiding. And Noah's like, ooh, I've always wanted a Shinigami in my collection. And he puts Death the Kid in the book, leaves Liz and Patty there, and dips. So now Death the Kid is in this dude's book, and this guy's just gone.
What the fuck?
And so while this is happening, Medusa, Soul, and Maka are fighting Arachne. And Arachne, it has become so insane that she just turns into like this black mass that like can do whatever it wants and just attack them. And the whole thing they have to do is make her turn into a physical form so they can kill her. Eventually they succeed, but once they kill her, Medusa is like, finally, and then just takes over her body. And so they're like,
whoops,
we should have like 100% seen that coming. This is a really
she was
cringe
a
plan.
little girl.
Yeah. So then
How did she do that? Put two and two together.
I know. So she takes over Arachne's body, and she's like, yeah, Krona's not fucking here, idiots. And then she just stabs Krona. She just stabs Maka in the chest with an arrow. And then Maka's like, no way. And then
she gets stabbed by reinvented Medusa.
Yeah. And by the way, they did grab Arachne's soul still, because Arachne's soul is out of the body and Medusa's in it now. So they still have that. And then they go back to the school, and they're like, essentially what starts happening
Wait. So fucking Maka just got like stabbed and then they just go back to the school?
Well, yeah. Okay. So she got stabbed. Eventually Kim starts healing everybody, and they've destroyed the machine. And Giriko, after everyone's left, wakes up because the like roofie's gone. And he's like, what happened?
Wait, who's Giriko again?
The chainsaw guy.
He's the dude that's kissing Justin.
Okay.
And then Justin pulls up on Giriko, and he's like, so Giriko, would you like to come with me? And you're like, what the fuck is going on? And so Justin and Giriko during the Tempest incident had been fighting each other. And so Giriko's like immediately like kind of alarmed. And he's like, no, come with me, bro. Trust me. So Justin then goes back to the Death City, not with Giriko. We don't know where Giriko is. And immediately Stein shows up, and he's like, yo, Justin, why did you kill Joe? And they're like, when I'm reading this, I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on, bro?
Yeah, what is going on?
So when you get to, one thing I forgot to mention is there was this part where a guy figured out it was Justin. It was another Death Scythe named Tezcatlipoca, it's an Aztec god's name, I'm pretty sure, that they just gave this character. If you go to the last page, it's the dude in the bear hat.
Ew.
And his partner.
This guy looks like he's going to a rave.
He's a weapon that's a pair of Tims with mirrors on them. And his partner is the monkey. Do you see the monkey?
Yeah, monkey.
By the way, that monkey wears a human outfit, and his shirt and hat both say ape.
I was gonna say, dude, you gotta.
This guy,
I mean, if
is ready to rave.
If you didn't already know, He's a monkey.
And so the monkey and this guy had actually found out during the operation somehow that they thought it might be Justin. So whenever they decide this, Stein goes to intercept him. And at some point that while they're fighting, Justin reveals. So Justin had told them he was an axe like the entire time. And Justin, by the way, is like really religious. Like he's like a religious dude, but he's actually not religious in like a good way. He just is like really religious towards the Kishin. Like his entire life, he just worshiped this thing. And the reason nobody ever knew is because he kept his personality in check with the headphones. But whenever he like takes them off, he goes fucking insane. And so, but I don't know what his headphones are saying, but
It's just like ASMR.
yeah. And he also, Justin, fun fact, rides around on a coffin that's a bass booster.
So he just like flies around and goes.
It's like it isn't even a fly. It's just like a coffin with wheels.
Oh,
It's kind of dope. But yeah, so before we get into the next part with Noah, I did want to do the only version of Bryce Chimes In we have for this episode. What were you for Halloween in 4th grade?
dude. I'm trying to think.
I know what I was.
I do not remember any of my Halloween costumes from when I was like a young child. I do not remember any.
Okay, give us one you remember then.
He doesn't remember any of them.
Dude, the only one I remember was definitely like past 4th grade. It had to be in middle school. I was a redneck.
Okay. That's
Like,
pretty good.
I had this old kind of, I think it was flannel or something, this old flannel shirt that was my dad's. I guess he never wore anymore. We fucking cut the sleeves off and then put a blanket, because obviously it was way too big for me because it was my dad's and I was like fucking 10 or something. And we put a blanket where my stomach was and like tucked in my shirt. So I had like a big belly, and then I had long hair. Not, I say long, but like longer hair at that time. And then I had a fucking like hat that just said like Georgia on it. And I wore some jeans. And so I just had like I was a redneck. But that's what but that was definitely older than 4th grade. But I legit, I seriously cannot remember a single one of my Halloween costumes.
I was Buzz Lightyear.
You know what? I may have been Buzz Lightyear.
Dude, I was also Buzz Lightyear one day.
I was not Buzz Lightyear.
Chris,
one
I
year.
was
Come on,
also the Black Power Ranger like 3 years in a row.
Oh,
Dude, I feel like
okay.
I may have been. I feel like I may have been a Power Ranger too, but I don't remember.
I also in 4th grade, I know for a fact I was Charmander.
It's just like you just like wore like an orange morph. You just like wore an orange morph suit, and you just like fucking lit your ass on fire.
Dude, I've seen pictures of Nolan as a kid, and it's just so funny to think of.
Chris, I mean, do you remember any of your?
I remember 5th grade. One time I was Woody.
How do you remember
I was Woody
specifically?
one time.
Like this was 5th grade.
Fifth grade, because I did it with my best friend Jackson, and there are pictures of it. And I was a like Star Wars Jedi, and I hate Star Wars now. So
Bro,
One year,
hater
I
moment.
dressed up as a pirate, and I just got a sign and wrote "Bay" on
you
it.
have a microphone.
I forgot that exists.
What's up?
Bro,
Classic.
it doesn't like sound like it's coming through.
Well,
It's
it
not.
won't for us.
It's coming through the
not.
computer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what were you?
Huh?
What? Never
Oh
mind.
yeah. I was a pirate, and I wrote a sign, just wrote Bay, and just like taped it to my shirt. So I was Pirate Bay.
Oh, so like a serial killer.
What?
Sure.
You've never seen the serial killer outfit?
They dress as a
I
pirate.
mean, the serial killer is a little bit better than a pirate that just says Bay on it.
Yeah, because I was Pirate Bay.
Dude.
Yeah, I know, but it just said Bay on it.
Why? Why would you just be a pirate?
What?
Why would you just be a pirate?
Yeah, why would?
I mean,
Because I wanted to add a little.
Because you
Because I was
wanted
the
to be-
pirate. I was a pirate, literally the same exact costume the year before.
Why didn't you
so
just
you're
like?
getting lazy, bro.
Yeah.
Getting fucking lazy.
Was this
Do you
like
not-
how long ago was this? Because I feel like you did have a pirate costume not that long
It
ago.
was like maybe Senior year of high school, freshman year of college.
Senior, what? You can't be that lazy when you're that like.
Well, at least I'm not
dude.
Jack who shows up to a Halloween party with a sign that says Jake on it. Like,
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
You know what?
Wait.
We'll
Do you
give it up.
know what the serial killer like?
No.
Yeah.
I was wondering what the fuck he was talking about too.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's you're just like a box of cereal.
oh,
And
It was
like
like
eating
it was
it.
like maybe
What?
senior year
We
of high
can
school,
move on.
freshman year of
Well, that's
college.
fine.
You're a box of cereal and you're like eating yourself.
Yes, something like it's
Well,
something
at least
like
I'm
that.
not
How-
Jack
how do
who
you
shows
get
up to a
across that you're
Halloween
a
party
box of
with
cereal
a
eating
sign that says
yourself?
Jake on it.
It's like you. It's like you've got a bowl. You've got a bowl like of cereal in front of you,
so you dress up as the box, but you're
but you
holding
also
the,
have like a bowl.
Dude, honestly, that sounds like an awesome costume, dude.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
could, literally
it-
just eat cereal all night.
It's a fun pun.
Yeah, right
It's
before
better
you eat
than
candy.
it's better than
That's
Pirate
true.
Bay.
Dude, I would fucking throw away my
I still
candy.
think the best costume was Bryce's Mr. Clean.
Okay, well,
pretty
yeah,
good. That's pretty good.
that was good, but that's not a pun one. I'm talking about.
Are we trying to do puns? When did we bring that up?
Bro.
But
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
okay, never
We're
mind.
moving
Never
on.
mind.
We're moving on right now. Okay. So after this all happened, so Giriko was brought to a building that Noah, Justin, and this guy Gopher are staying at, and they have Death the Kid chained up. And this guy Gopher, it wants his whole life goal is to be collected by his own like leader, Noah. He wants to be put in the book. And Noah's like, well, you're not worth having, so no. And he's really upset about it. And he's so jealous that he wanted Death the Kid that he just beats up Death the Kid all day. And then Noah will come in and be like, hey, stop it. And he's like, sorry. And then he'll leave and like immediately after. So that's what's going on there. And so Gopher gets so jelly one day that he's like, you know what? Because okay, by the way, they find out at this point
Wait,
that
is-
Maka is low key an angel.
is
Don't even worry
Gopher
about that.
in here in the
No.
pictures?
I literally made a spot to put him and didn't anyways
not
because
worth
he's
it.
so not worth putting. That was the joke. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate
sorry.
Gopher.
Oh.
I hate him so much.
Yeah, all the homies hate Gopher.
So Gopher goes to attack Maka because Noah wants to collect Maka because Maka's soul has like an angelic property to it that they just now revealed for some reason. They call it like the Grigori or something.
The Gregory.
Kind of, yeah. That's what it kind of looks like. And by the way, in the time
what it looks
between
like.
these events and when they raided the base, Maka had gotten her 100 souls, and Death gives them the soul from Arachne that they had gotten, and then soul becomes a death scythe. The only significant difference that I could tell is that they can fly on it now.
They could fly on the scythe.
Yeah. Later, there's another thing they get to do with the scythe. That's pretty much the only thing that changed.
Well, I mean, people have flying devices anyway. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, like Kim can just fly on hers anyways.
And then
Like-
fucking Death the Kid is like a flying skateboard, you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're like, okay, so we need to stop this guy. So what's the best way to do it? So what they determine they need to do once, by the way, Gopher goes to attack Maka and kind of gets frankly bopped. And then he goes back and Noah's like, I'm ashamed of you. I'm like, why is he here then? Get rid of Gopher. I don't get why he has Gopher on his team at all. Gopher's not even that powerful of a character.
He can just beat people that are fucking like,
Actually fodder.
yeah.
So then they come up with this plan. All right. So we need to get the witches that we have in jail, the two cabaret members, Kim, and they are able, and Erica, because Medusa is not telling her what to do anymore. By the way, Medusa and Krona are off doing something. I'll talk about that in a bit. It's pretty important. So while this is all going on, they get them together, the witches, and Death is like, what I need you to do is I need y'all to create a teleportation spell that can teleport us straight into the book Noah has. And while they go through the book to get Death the Kid, we're going to attack the base itself at the same time from the outside.
Why would they do this for him?
Huh?
Why would they do this for the man who massacres their people?
Because they literally will die otherwise. Kim, by the way, is on his side. And the other two he's just like, yeah, I won't imprison you anymore if you do this. That's kind of the gist. He's like, yeah, this is like you are a war prisoner. Do it. So then, while this is happening, they get into the book, and the others, like Stein, the bear guy is actually just a character now. And Marie, Spirit, and a couple other people are raiding from the outside. And then Sid's also there too, because Sid's in every scene, but does nothing in every scene.
But who is Sid? Which one?
Sid's a
Their
zombie.
teacher zombie.
Oh, yeah.
And he uses the crossbow bitch, who's irrelevant. I shouldn't have even.
Bro, where's Blair is also just here, but not here.
Blair's just chilling at their house, bro.
Oh,
she does not do a whole lot anymore.
But when you say their house,
Maka and Soul's house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I
you
got
know-
the impression that Blair was like
No,
a
I'm
bigger
gonna say
character.
Nah, she's just fan service.
Okay,
Mostly.
bro.
Okay. They get in the book. The way the book works is you progress through 7 chapters of the book based on the 7 deadly sins. Most
Mhm.
creative thing ever.
Yeah.
And when you get to the end, that's where Death the Kid's supposed to be.
But
So
what about Mosquito?
Mosquito gone forever. I don't know where he is, bro.
They need to rescue him.
He's in a book. I think they established that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I
but
mean, he's in the
they're-
book, but he's not actually like ever shown again, really.
Nah, he's
Bro, why don't they rescue him instead?
I would prefer that, to be honest. He's pretty cool. He's a cool guy. But so they're traversing through, and the first chapter is lust. The reason I bring this up is because all the characters turn into the opposite sex in this chapter.
Oh God.
And there's this like little like dude floating there, and he's like, "Whoa, what's popping? What's up?" And he's like, "They're like, who are you?" He's like, "I'm the table of contents, bro. How can I help you?" and they're like, "What the fuck, bro?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can tell you what's up." And they're like, "So why are we the opposite
Why would
sex?"
he be helping them?
Well, okay,
No,
he's just like
he's just a book.
he's just a transcendent being that lives in this book, and he just does whatever Avon programmed him to do. So if you're in the book, he'll tell you what's going on.
Okay.
He's not on Noah's side. He's just in
Wouldn't
the book.
that
Noah
be
has.
more of the index's job?
Yeah, I that could be what he was, but I think he said table of contents or something like that.
Whatever. Same thing.
When they get into the book, he's like, so the reason y'all are the opposite sex is because y'all are being tested. And he's like, they're like, what do you mean? He's like, we're gonna see which one of you stays like that the longest, and whichever
What?
one of you goes like changes back last
What changes?
is the horniest right now. And
What?
they're like, wait, what?
So the horniest person stays the opposite gender the longest.
Yes.
Okay.
So
that
can we
is
make
the
some
most fan servicey thing
All right,
I've ever
I
heard.
No.
All right, Chris. So who's the horniest? Who is it?
What's your prediction? And it's just all of the like,
It's going to be a male character, and it's got to be either Soul or Black Star. So I'm guessing it's going to be Black
I was
Star.
gonna say I feel like Black Star makes sense. Either that or
Okay.
they could make it a woman too, because like I feel like that also
I
makes
don't
a lot of
know.
sense.
all right. So
I
they-
mean,
for
we
fan
do
service
we do
purposes.
theorize that Patty and Liz kind of like molested a man while he
that's
was
not how
drugged
I
to
had put
sleep.
it. It sounded pretty like it was on the up and up to me, but
Really?
you kind of made that connection a little
Yeah, I
more
mean,
dark.
they were saying they literally drugged him to sleep and
Well,
were
they
with
drugged him
where-
before they came back, not like the whole time. No,
The way I thought you meant is that
No,
they
no,
drugged
no.
him when they got there.
they were
spent
with him for a
days
while.
with him.
then drugged him after. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, by the way, they get into the fucking second part of the book. By the way, you were completely wrong. Black Star turns back first.
Who's the
really?
horniest?
We'll get there.
Okay.
So the whole time, all the other characters are like, fuck, dude, it's actually gonna happen like this. Damn. So they're trapped. So they go through gluttony, then envy. Envy, by the way, is like just makes Mako like get depressed, and she's like, yeah, I'm not good enough to fight with Soul, bro. And she gets over this really quickly. As they go up, the only floor that really matters is floor 6, because this is where Giriko was put in the book to stop them while Noah fights all the people that are invading. Noah, by the way, can just summon these black monsters from this book that are incredibly powerful. Like they just like rip people to pieces instantly. He pulls out a like worm out of the book at one point, and it rips the bear guy's stomach, just obliterates it, and he just dies.
And Giriko's the chainsaw
not
man, right?
Teska.
Giriko's the chainsaw guy, and then Noah's the
Yeah.
the leader of this group. Also, Justin's there too, but Justin is fighting I think he's fighting Stein, maybe. I think. And they get to the floor 6, and for some reason, most of the group skipped floor 6, except Maka and Soul, who are there by themselves. And Maka and Soul are going to fight the chainsaw guy.
Have they switched genders yet? What's the tally
So
on that?
everyone except for Liz and Tsubaki are back to normal.
Dude. My next guess would have been Liz.
Wait, okay.
But-
Are these people in the pictures?
Tsubaki?
Oh, Liz. Who's Tsubaki?
Tsubaki is Blackstar's partner.
Scroll to the left.
Oh, dude.
Dude,
I feel like we don't
How?
talk. I feel like we don't talk about her a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
she had a brother with shadow powers.
Yep.
Dude, I don't know. I had a feeling that they would make the horniest people the women too for the fan service purposes, honestly.
Yeah, but they're
makes
men
sense.
now.
But yeah, so now
Yeah, but like never mind.
while the chainsaw thing's happening, by the way, there's like this whole thing I haven't really talked about yet where like Blackstar and Death the Kid kind of don't like each other very much because Blackstar is like, yeah, I want to be able to beat gods with my bare hands. And Death the Kid's like, you're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And so while they get to the end and while they're fighting Chainsaw Guy, by the way, they beat Chainsaw Guy and get this, he turns into a woman and gets way stronger. And they're like, how did you do that? And he's like, I just put my soul into another body that was unfortunately a woman. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right, cool. So they fight him again
Works.
and they kind of clean him up like again. But what they do is because they're starting to lose, they make him like get so mad that he's like paralyzed because he's so mad, and then they just leave. It's a pretty convoluted situation because they were like, yeah, you're just pissed off, bro. And he's like, no, I'm not. Until he like gets so pissed off that he can't move
He just tenses his muscles.
Yeah,
He's
like
like
he indefinitely tenses up forever. And there you go. That's it. So
Dude, good B chainsaw.
what is this? What is this, Fred?
So
like
then they get
peace.
Death the Kid. Oh wait, Tsubaki ended up being the horniest, and it caused a part that I thought was really good. So him and Tsubaki and Blackstar own like a 1-room condo, and Tsubaki's like, dude, I sleep in the same room as her. Not anymore.
Oh, you mean Blackstar said that?
Yeah, Blackstar said that about her because he's like, that's fucking gross. I sleep right next to
What?
you.
Okay, why? Okay, I guess it's.
Damn,
I guess he was the least horniest.
Yeah, so he's like, ew, that's not training to be stronger.
That's like
sex.
Power.
That's like most like protagonists in anime. It's like, bro,
I think-
fuck that woman.
Okay.
She's not trying to become
That's a
the
good
strongest.
payoff. That's a pretty funny fan
I
service
actually
payoff.
think another connection, bro. I'm pretty sure Blackstar's voice actor is Naruto's voice actor.
Oh,
Infinite connections, bro.
trying to get
Holy shit!
the
These
strongest.
ninjas, man.
Ninjas, dude, they're all correlated. Okay, so
was that the fourth Naruto connection?
yeah, it is.
That is.
So when they get to the end of chapter 7, a black hole opens up with Death the Kid inside of it, and so Death the Kid met this friend of Death's that was friends with him and his group of 10 that fought Arachne a long time ago, and this dude is just this giant black monster, and he's like, yo, what's up? I am the nothingness. And I'm like, okay, here we go again, bro. And so he's like, yeah, so me, Avon, some other guy, I don't remember, and this other dude and me were all good friends. And by the way, there's a character I should be remembering right now that I don't, but he mentions this 4th dude that never shows up. They like talk him up like he's important and he never appears. But he makes Death the Kid think that Death the Kid's like symmetrical thing is complete nonsense. Oh, because it is. And
That is true.
and when this is happening, he's just like, look, bro, you should just kill all your friends or something like that. And then Death the Kid's, yeah, sure.
That has
it's
nothing
not
to do
a-
with symmetry.
It is not a very sensical thing.
Okay,
And then,
listen.
and then
Your symmetrical block It's because you have friends.
Kill your friends. But yeah, so
You do it.
then he opens up a portal where they can see Death the Kid's in there, and Black Star, for seemingly no reason, says, "Yeah, I'm gonna go in there by myself. I'll see y'all." So he just jumps in, and none of them come in. They just let him do that, and then he has a fist fight with Death the Kid.
He's like, I'm trying to have an anime fight, guys. Please step back.
So he has like a fist fight with Death the Kid, and he just beats him up, and he says, "You suck, Death the Kid." Death the Kid's like, "Shit, he's right." There you go. That's it for that. So now, Death the Kid's
so is his symmetrical thing like just gone now, or is it still like a factor?
Oh no, it's still the yeah. So then they escape from the book together.
Well, what is this? What is this thing where you say Patty and Black Star are identical characters, but not?
Oh yeah, so they both transform back from being horny at almost the same time, and then they go through all the chapters and do all the exact same things. So like they both like just eat endlessly in the gluttony chapter, and then like the sloth chapter, they both just fall asleep, just like immediately. Like they just do all the same shit together. Like they just run around the chapters, copying each other basically, and then everyone else is just like, dude, this shit fucking sucks, dude.
So Black
they would be a good couple.
Theoretically, sure.
So Black Star beat up Death the Kid, and then now they're just like, all right, we beat him up, so now we're good to go.
Obviously,
out.
we can escape the book easily.
Okay.
You know,
All right,
because it's easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
They just get up, they just get out of the book. I don't know how they did it. They just walk out. And Noah's there, and he's been fighting people, and they're like, "Yo, kill him, guys." And then they're like, "Okay." So they start fighting him.
Okay. I'm sorry. Start.
Everyone's
Say that one
so
more time.
now they're all to the book fighting Noah.
Yeah.
Okay. Noah summons all these monsters.
And they're really like powerful, like black monsters. Or whatever
yeah,
you said. Okay.
and they start beating all of them, and then the kid's like, "I'm really angry." So I actually forgot to mention this. So during the fight with Mosquito, Death the Kid, one of his 3 lines completed.
Oh.
And then in this fight, the second one completes.
Oh, dude, he's almost there.
Yeah, and he gets like,
He's almost got symmetry.
yeah, and then,
Kinda. I mean, the cut's still.
yeah, you know, kind of cringe, bro. But yeah, so he has he has shields now coming out of his pistols, and he can like
Is that
summon
because-
coffins that shoot giant mega lasers.
So that's because he has got his line. Okay.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about this is that once he summons the coffins of the mega lasers, he just one-shots Noah and wipes like half this forest.
What?
What?
And then they're like, oh, okay, Noah's done. So they leave, and then Gopher's like, Noah. And then Noah just like appears and it's fine. But he doesn't seem to remember who he is. He's just chilling.
Wait.
Bruh.
And then, oh, by the way, all of them just went back to the school.
I thought you said that he just died, or
Well, I did say they died, and then he's just fine.
Infuriating.
is it because of like where the thing where every like dead person came back?
Okay. I don't know. But my thoughts on this are that the author went insane. Because
The author was like,
the more we go through this, you're going to be like,
okay,
fuck.
so
man,
I
Jesus.
think the whole point. Let me see the character list. I'm pretty sure tension is actually just supposed to be a self-insert for the author.
Tension. Who's Tension?
Is that the guy's name?
Keishan?
Keishan.
Just insanity.
Yeah, because this is
that's
getting
okay.
so infuriating.
So hold that thought for just a second.
Oh no.
Okay. Let me cover this next part real quick.
the fourth
Then we'll get
wall
back to
break
the
is
good
about
thing.
to happen. The author's like,
Okay.
I'm insane.
So
Fucking help me, please.
Okay, so Krona and Medusa attack Africa. Black Star shows up.
Wait.
They go to Africa.
Okay, I was like, is this a person? They're just attacking the fucking.
Okay, yeah, they're taking the continent. Okay, so they're turning all these black dudes into like violent people. Like it's actually a very racist scene. I'm not kidding. Like they're all like really ghetto and have Glocks and stuff. And then they like show up, and Black Star does, and Krona's there, and Medusa's like, fight him, Krona, and Krona's getting his ass beat.
Wait, so Kronos just showed back up now?
Yes, Krona started attacking Africa. And has been
Krona just there's just like, oh, I'm gonna send you on a mission.
Oh
It's
my
like,
god!
okay.
Attack Africa.
Okay, what do I do? Who do I need to? Who's the hit on? Africa. Go get them.
I need you to be racist for me, Krona, please.
What the fuck?
I'm about to get Racist. But yeah.
Oh my god.
So they're attacking Africa. Eventually, Black Star kind of just beats his ass, and then she's like, "That's good enough. That's all we really needed." Because she's just trying to train Krona for some reason, and it's pretty unclear. So then Krona is going more and more and more insane, and eventually she goes to Russia, and starts just to
Medusa
attack
and
Russia.
Krona.
yeah, and she starts attacking Russia, and Russia has a death scythe, and this dude is a ball and chain. And he just turns his head into one and swings it around to people.
Oh, that's
And,
cool. That's kind of cool.
It is pretty cool. He actually walks around with his head as a ball and chain most of the time.
What the fuck?
And his partner Fyodor uses him, and he's like, yeah. And so, yeah, they get completely mollywopped by Krona, and Krona makes them go so crazy. So Krona starts going around and just injecting like his insanity into people all over the world, and he turns an entire city in Russia into a giant black bubble where everyone starts going crazy and just killing each other. And then Death is like, dude, we're not getting that fucker to stop doing this anymore. Kill him. It's not an option anymore.
They're
You just gotta kill him.
Kill Krona.
Yeah. So he officially adds Krona to his list. He's like, yeah, just kill this motherfucker, please.
Dude.
So then there's a scene where Krona and Medusa are chilling in a house, and Medusa's like, you're so close to being exactly how I want you to be. You're so close. Now I need you to absorb the Kishin, and everything will be perfect.
That's the mega bad
That's
guy.
the reason Kishin was released in the first place, was so Krona could get to the strong enough to absorb him, and then he would be basically just like the leader of the world, essentially, because he'd be so powerful. Medusa's like, you're so close, and she's, for the first time ever, Medusa like hugs him and says, I love you, Krona. And then Krona's like, doesn't know what to do, and he starts like having like a inner monologue thing, and he goes insane and just rips Medusa to pieces and just starts killing her. And Medusa actually dies in the scene. He just murders her.
When the author becomes sane for like 2 panels.
Yeah, for real. Like that was deserved.
That's kind of fucked up. Like
Yeah.
I can appreciate some characters actually
Now is this the
dying.
point where Krona is like, I'm not gonna do that?
So yeah, Krona
I must say probably just goes like AWOL
now
or
only has like one connection to like anyone else on Earth, which is Maka. So he goes to the place in Italy where Maka met him, and is just like in there, like just like brooding and stuff. And she, Maka senses that is doing this thing where she goes on top of this tower to see if she could sense where Krona's at, because she has to go kill him. And while she's doing it, she like notices something's going on, and she's like, holy shit. That's why we can't find the Kishin. This motherfucker's on the moon. Okay, so we're going to be going to the moon now.
Wait. You totally forgot. You skipped over the part where Teska didn't die.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, I forgot about this. So outside of that city that turned into a giant black bubble where everybody started killing each other, Teska,
Who's Teska again?
the bear,
Okay, the bear.
he
the bear.
just lived, and now he has a mouse hat on.
Yeah, I remember you saying that Teska died.
Yeah, so he's fine now. He's
Who the fuck dies in this?
It was actually
Death
he was
is not
actually
real.
a doppelganger he made with his mirror, Tim's. So okay, then he shows up, and Justin's sitting there, and Justin was supposed to monitor the situation in the bubble, and he's like, Teska, is that you? And he's like, how did you know it was me, dude? I changed the fucking hat, and the hat literally looks the same, but it has mouse ears on it. And he's like, how the fuck did you know it was me, dude? And he's like, dude, I don't know what you're saying. I'm wearing like headphones. And
How would he know? How would he know to like speak back to him? I guess you just infer. You know, like
yeah. So then eventually, it's really weird because Teska's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, Justin, and Justin kills him for good this time. Which isn't true. Teska's fine. So Teska turns into this like this zombie monster that just like lives
my
in
God.
Death's mirror, and he's like, yo, dude, Justin is fine. Go kill Justin. He's on the moon too. And then as soon as Maka
my God.
finds out that Kishin's on the moon, she gets called into the office, and Death goes, yo, so we just found out from Teska that Justin and Kishin are on the moon. And she's like, well, then why the fuck did I even have the moment where I found that out in the story? What the fuck was the point of that? and then like,
I wish that was the actual line.
and then we're about to get to the battle on the moon. So the battle on the moon,
Wait,
we can
so
get through very, very quickly.
Do they ever explain how they got to the moon, or is it just magic?
I mean, he can just fly dead ass, so I guess he just flew up there.
So he can just breathe in space too.
Dude, all the characters can. They can just breathe up there. Yeah. Okay. So
Do they ever explain that, or they're just like they can just survive there?
they're just good.
I mean, magic.
Yeah. So we're not going to cover the battle on the moon yet. because we're going to do something a little bit different this episode, where in which, because we have the Bryce is Right still to do, as you all know, today's a special episode of the Bryce is Right. So we're going to finish off on that. So instead, we're going to do Chris's review right now. So we don't have to do his review straight into the Bryce is Right, because I don't think that feels morally correct. So go ahead and review before we cover the moon fight.
Okay.
We'll see how we're doing.
Right,
This time, dude. I have to
Are you
piss.
you're gonna play my music?
I don't have it.
Oh, that's in post. Okay.
but yeah,
What's
go.
the
So,
name of the segment?
what I will say about
Chris's
this,
review thing.
dude.
Right, Chris.
Yeah, whatever.
What do you mean, whatever? It's
So
called
what
Run
I'm gonna
Chris.
We don't got
say,
time for this
what
right
I'm
now.
gonna
Shut up.
say is that like, I feel like this show, if you got rid of the fan service, I really feel like it would be a perfect show for people who are our age when it came out to look at it and be like, that's pretty cool. 12 to 15. I feel like it's a good show for 12 to 15 year olds, honestly. Except, I mean, there's apparently egregious fan service, which makes it to where it's like not even that. I wouldn't say that's good. I'd say the best thing about this, I mean, it's making me angrier and angrier, but I kind of have to be like, I have to give it to some props that it is the most shonen thing I've ever fucking heard of. Like, these characters just don't die, and there's no like stated reason, and I hate and love that. It's so aggravating. I also don't think it's bad, but I think that's also nostalgia. I think the best thing about the show is probably that it made TM Revolution more popular because the opening is fucking baller.
I don't even know the opening.
Dude,
I mean,
it is so good. It is.
It's really good.
The opening is really fucking good, dude. And that's the only thing I'd say so far that would be like, wow, that was really fucking good.
It's the opening that is the only thing that's really good is the opening that we haven't talked about or seen yet. That
Yeah,
you just
exactly.
know
I
of
just know.
outside of this.
Okay.
That's the best part about what Nolan's been telling us about is the opening that he hasn't told us about.
So I was gonna say 5 out of 10, but I'm gonna say 4 out of 10 because I think that's me getting rid of nostalgia.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give like, I don't know. I want to say is like, I'm feeling like a 7 personally
What?
because I don't know. I
I mean,
really,
in fairness, you're not seeing the fights, which is literally like half the content.
Okay.
But I don't know. I really appreciate it. Just like the story is just like so crazy and out there. And I kind of really enjoy watching anime where like really crazy shit that makes no sense happens a lot of the time because it's just like that shock factor. You're like, what the fuck is this? Like it kind of makes sense with how the story's going, but like it's just so out there that I don't know. I really like shit like that where it's just like really stupid and crazy, but they like make it work somehow. I think I think it's really funny and it makes me enjoy it a lot more because like I look forward to like the crazy shit that makes no sense because I think it's funny.
To build off what Bryce said there, like I
Not necessarily
internally
that
took off points by how confused he is. I wanted to mention it and I was going to mention it here. You have like asked like 8 times, is this like what is happening right now? Because you have forgotten or it's just too confusing to understand. And
well, I mean,
that's not on you. It's fucking confusing. This shit is nonsense.
well, I mean, yeah, it just there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Okay.
But I don't know. I feel like this is one. I feel like also because I'm asking like these questions and I have no prior knowledge,
engaged.
kind of like where I had in Tower of God, where I'm making sure I'm like actively following. So this one definitely like I'm following the best for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So you want me? Do you think I should give it a 5 out of 10?
I mean, that's
5 out of 5.
that's up to you, man.
No.
But my rating was based off of
All right.
not necessarily. I think it's like, oh wow, this anime is really good. It's just that like it gives me entertainment. That's kind of what I'm.
4
on.
out of 10. I would definitely give it to the 12 to 15 age range. Maybe.
Wait, what?
So what we're gonna do?
Thank you, Kris, for the segment where you review and speak things with your mouth or something like that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's correct. The moon. Okay, let's talk about the moon fight. Okay, so the thing on the moon. Okay, so they send a bunch of characters there. Half of
haven't talked about who the clowns are, and you're just like
Yeah.
the first chapter is like we're gonna deal with the clowns. now.
this is it.
This is the story. This is the clowns.
This is when the clowns show
Send
up.
in the clowns right now at the end.
Okay, so they're gonna fight. So Maka and Soul start. Actually, most of them start fighting. Krona in Italy. Krona's like, I'm going to the moon. The Kishin's on the moon. He flies to the moon. Okay. Before that, though, Death the Kid, a few other people, they went to the moon. Most of those characters we've never seen before. It's like this old lady, this nerd with some glasses, and this fucking dude who's like, I'm an engineer. Like, I guess he was the actual engineer. But the Eternal Spring was used to power this airship to the moon they didn't know they needed.
I mean, but Death knew. He knew something was gonna happen.
He was prepped.
Dude, he fucking
4D
knew
chess, dude.
they were going to the moon. He
Okay.
fucking knew.
You know, I should have put in my thing like Death is an awesome character.
Yeah,
I would totally believe that he knew all of that shit was gonna happen, and he was just like,
Yeah, I'm baller.
yeah, I'm cool. I'm
You
chill.
know how it is. Also, there's this one part where, okay, they get to the moon. They're fighting the clowns. They can't beat them. they literally live forever.
So where did the clowns come
What
from?
are the clowns?
So, okay, so they woke up with the insanity and are just do whatever the Kishin says.
okay.
Okay, so they're like
There you go.
they're like the Kishin's like kind of servants.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
you're saying is the Kishin just likes clowns?
Sure.
Okay.
They're like really, really powerful too for some reason. I no idea.
So when okay,
pretty
like
fucking
you say
vague.
the clowns are like, did they just call them clowns or do all of them
They don't
actually
really-
look like clowns?
They look like literal just crazy insane
Also,
monsters.
how insane
But they're called
this
clowns.
is the last 20 chapters, right?
Yeah, I mean this part we'll breeze through this. Real
Okay.
quick.
How insane are the characters? And also, where's Excalibur?
Oh, well, I was gonna get to him very shortly.
No, bro, it's yeah. Never mind.
So, okay.
we'll keep going.
Now, there's a whole thing here. They can't defeat them. So Death's like, okay, Death the Kid, I'm going to beam you back down. So he comes back down. Okay, this shit should have taken so long. So he's like, okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to get the witch girls. They're going to go with you to the witch kingdom. You're going to get them to come help us fight on the moon because they don't want to all die too. And he's like, that sounds like just an awful idea. And he's like, okay, yeah, go ahead and do it. So Death's like, so Death the Kid's like, all right, fine. So then Death, this is maybe the most egregious scene in the whole show. He says, all right, Kim, we're going to turn away. Draw the portal to the dimension. And so do you know how you have to get to the witch dimension is you have to take your pants off
No.
and you have to draw it.
Like lick it.
You draw it with your ass.
What the fuck?
So Kim takes off her skirt and draws it with her ass, and then they go through, and Death literally, I guess, knew this was true because he told Death the Kid to look away for it. But then they go in there, and Death the Kid is like, "We need your help," and they're like, "You are all sentenced to death." And Death the Kid's like, "Well, that's bleak." And,
That's what I expected. And I'm a kid.
and then all of them are like, and then the witch girls are like, "But we all will die." And then they cut away, and then we're back to Black Star and Maka flying up to the moon. They get there. Krona's there too. They go into this cave of the nerd with glasses. Noah and
on the moon.
yeah. So by the way, they're inside the moon's mouth because you know how
It's got the blood in it.
Yeah, we saw the moon in the.
We
little
talked
picture.
about it.
yeah. So
What did we say the moon was gonna do?
The moon.
Nothing.
They're in.
We
So-
didn't think it would.
So the Kishin is in the moon's mouth because the
Okay.
moon's alive.
Okay.
They walk in there and a few characters do it. And they're like, whoa, he's here. And they start going crazy. And then he comes out and he's like, dude, what the fuck is going on?
Keishan does?
Yeah, he's like, bro, I'm just trying to nap, Chief. What is up? And then he just starts kind of bopping them, and then Krona shows up and starts bopping them too. Like Sid, nerd with glasses. Noah's there for some reason. Noah just dies immediately. He literally doesn't matter. And there's this one part where Gopher's like, Keishan Sama. Can you give me like more Noahs? And he's like, sure.
What?
So he just pops out like 5 more Noahs.
Simp.
5 more Noahs, and the Noahs are all just like, what the fuck are we, bro? What's going on? And then that's it for that part. And then they cut to Krona getting there, and Keishan's like, wait, you want to absorb me? And Krona's like, yes. Then they cut away. We're back. Okay, the airship is flying up, and something crashes into the Death Academy. Okay, the Weapon Academy, and they're like, bro, what the fuck is actually happening? And it was Excalibur. He just blew through the building. And there's this part where Death literally says, you witch bitches. I knew you'd betray us. And it was just Excalibur destroying the ceiling of the building.
Okay. You haven't mentioned Excalibur.
I'm talking about him right now. Okay, so I completely ignored him till now because he literally doesn't matter at all. But he's the most powerful weapon in the world. And in order to use him, you have to follow a list of incredibly inconvenient commands that's like hundreds and hundreds of pages long every day for the rest of your life, or you can't use him.
Okay.
So there you go.
Someone's dedicated.
There is a guy who at one point is willing to do it, and then Excalibur gets a cold, and he thinks it's icky and doesn't want to get sick, so he gets rid of him.
What?
I know. Like, this guy soloed the whole cast in that episode.
You're like, so this guy was like dedicating his life to like being able to possibly use this thing, and then he gets a cold and says, nah, I'm out.
Yep.
I mean, he does. You know what? You got to respect he has like some boundaries, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a germaphobe.
He ain't trying to get sick.
These days,
true.
that's important.
It is important. That's true, Chris.
So you need to be masking up. And
Yeah, that guy, did he wear a mask?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that's step 1, bro.
Step 1. So then, okay. They get to the moon, and the airship gets shot down on the way up.
Okay.
And the kid's like, dude, we're supposed to fucking stop it. The witches are not on our side, dude. Fuck. And then the witches like save them after the ship gets shot down. They go up to the moon. They do the whole thing where they make it so the clowns can actually die now. Whatever. They show up and they by the way, what they did is they used the spell that they use on themselves so you can't detect them on Keishan's soul, so they Keishan's wavelength wasn't making them go fucking crazy, like to the point where they wouldn't die for just long enough that they could kill all the clowns. Then Keishan comes out, or Krona comes out, has absorbed Keishan. That happened off screen.
Okay, yeah.
They start fighting Krona, and there's this part where Freeze on the moon. I forgot to mention that he's on their side now.
That's the witch guy with the witch eye, right?
Yeah, and he's like, and Death the Kid's like, yo, can you send everyone else back down? I don't want anyone to die, but like me, Soul, and Maka, obviously, because we're the main characters. And so he goes, yeah, no problem. And he teleports Death the Kid down too on accident. So Death the Kid has to fly back up there again. And while that's happening, Black Star, Maka, Soul, and Tsubaki are fighting Krona. And there's this point where Krona's like slowly starting to be like, because he's like wants to be friends with Maka, but he's like insane and wants to kill people too. And then Keishan just comes back out and he's like, yeah, psych, I'm totally fine. And then they start fighting the Keishan. Now,
wait, Keishan like comes out of?
Yes, the Keishan comes back out of Krona because Krona absorbed him, and he just like evaporates Krona's body and is just back as himself again.
So Krona's gone.
Krona's gone, yeah.
As far as we know, Krona's gone.
Yes. So now Keishan is like, yeah, I'm gonna fight you guys. So one thing I forgot to mention about Keishan is what makes him so dangerous is that he swallowed his own weapon partner. He turned him into a knife and ate him. And because he did that, he is able to swallow souls too. And humans were not meant to swallow souls. And that's what made him so crazy. And then you find out that he's Death the Kid's brother for literally no reason. What? He's just like, yeah, I'm the version of you who was born from evil.
Death and the other brother.
I mean, is Death the Kid really that good?
A little.
So it's just
He's better.
He's better.
Death's other son.
Yeah. And Death is like, I need Death the Kid to make the third line so he can defeat Keishan. And he does. Then Death dies instantly.
What triggers the third line? It just happens?
It just eventually happened, I guess.
Okay.
Also, the whole point of the brew box was to enhance the speed that Death the Kid could finish the lines.
Do they ever explain like what the lines are really?
They're called the lines of Sanzo, and when they're complete, you become the Reaper.
What makes him specifically get them? Because he's Death's son?
Yeah, because he's a Shinigami.
Oh, so like him getting all the lines basically makes him Death himself, and because he's Death, then
the other Death dies.
Oof.
This is, by the way, the first time it's mentioned is
Santa
when he
Claus.
dies. Yeah, exactly.
Wait, what?
But then,
Wait, but
yeah,
I mean, it's the Santa Claus.
So
okay, for sure.
then there's this scene while mostly the Keishan fight is pretty standard. There's this one part where it's just them fighting a dude on the moon, you know. There's one part though where Maka turns Soul into a scythe with piano keys on the scythe itself and can like play it on there as well with him, and that's pretty cool. All she does is swing the scythe like normal still. But Black Star has this one part where Ashura is Keishan's actual name. He shoots a fucking ginormous like Kamehameha type laser, and Black Star catches it with his mouth and spits it back out. And then he shoots another one, and Black Star catches it with his hand and chucks it.
What all of a sudden made him so powerful?
Yeah, serious.
So okay, Black Star, there's literally a whole thing I put in the bottom here. He is literally just like superhuman after that part where he comes and breaks into the headquarters. He like whenever he went to train with Tsubaki, he became actually unbelievably busted. There's literally a scene where Keishan says, if only your friends weren't whack, you would easily be able to beat me just because of you. Like you're so broken. Because he's just out here like punching the Keishan.
He dead ass. He on the way up, he trained in like that 10 times gravity.
Dude, that's a good call.
I think what caused it is that they stopped sleeping in the same room.
Dude, that's probably true. He was a little sussed out.
Yeah.
He's like, this is a little
free from temptations and desires. He could fully train.
Absolutely.
Yup, that's right. But yeah, so okay, that's they eventually beat Ashura, and then they go back down to the ground.
You said Kenshin is Ashura, right?
Keishan is, yeah.
Keishan. I said Kenshin, like never mind. I just sounded oddly familiar, like Kengan Ashura.
Once he's defeated, they come back down and they're like, awesome, we did it. Okay.
Respect.
Everyone's like, yo, dope, fantastic. Then the craziest final chapter I've ever seen before happens. By the way, we have this. So the entire last chapter is a bunch of characters like seeing, like Death the Kid walks up to Patty and Liz and he's like, damn, I'm for some reason like really staring at y'all's boobs right now. And then Blair gets on top of Soul and Soul's like, bruh, boobs, bro. And then Maka comes over and she sits down next to the two of them and she's like, boobs, bro. And Blair's like, boobs are more fun in groups of 3 or something like that. And then it cuts to Black Star like sneaking into this hot spring that Tsubaki's bathing in. And he's like, yo, boobs.
No.
And then all the other characters start saying it. And then
dude, he's not powerful anymore.
Dude, and all these people just start all over the world just start thinking about boobs. And then they cut to a speech by Death the Kid. And then Marie is like, yeah, Stein got me pregnant. And Maka's like, so I'm glad we were friends. And the series ends.
Is that like just a show of his power? Like that he thought about boobs and then everyone did?
What?
Well, no, like all of them, like I guess whenever they got rid of insanity in the world, it culminated.
I was about to say, so
boobs.
That's
the
when
opposite.
they got rid of insanity, everyone on Earth thought of boobs at the same time.
Everyone's mind was
As if
cleared.
that's not fucking
Everyone's
insane.
mind was cleared. There was no insanity. They could focus on, what really makes the world the world.
Exactly.
Yes, motherhood.
Also, I forgot to mention the way that they beat Keishan was that Krona just like used his like blood to like freeze up Keishan's blood so they could like attack him or something like that. And it was Krona died.
Okay.
Is the long
Good.
story short. But yeah, so there you go. That's the legitimate ending of the series. Is just everybody being like, yeah, I really like boobs.
Okay, you know what? Retroactively, we're adding like another. It's 5 out of 10.
That's an 8 out of 10.
As I said earlier, some people watch shows only for the fan service.
This is
and
just
he
like,
knew it. He knew it.
Yeah, I mean that's just the best ending. I mean,
Really?
God, this is such a fucking crazy series. Or like
Man.
piece that the fact that it just ends with what feels like a big fuck you to the reader, like is so
It's
good.
honestly
Okay,
so.
I have a quick question. I remember you saying, Nolan, I feel like you said that you thought the Soul Eater anime was really, really whack, but the manga was like really good, right?
I think it's a lot better, but a lot of it is the fight scenes, which is the
Yeah,
only
I was
thing
about to
I don't
ask.
convey in this.
It's like, yeah, is it just like the fights and stuff like that? Okay, but I feel like it's better if
Some
you like.
things
if
are
you,
pretty good, anyways. When you paraphrase stuff, it's
I
gonna
was
sound
gonna say,
weird.
I feel like it's probably better if you read it all, expand it out instead of like specifically focusing and talking about the things that don't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I get that.
Okay, so now we have the segment of the day, what we're all really here for.
Thank you.
Bryce's first real and true challenge. The Bryce is Right midterm edition.
Fuck.
So in this episode, we're going to be asking you questions about every series we've covered so far. Oh, God. And we're going to be starting off pretty strong here. There's going to be 11 questions. If you get 6 right, you pass. We're going to speed through this. You get 10 seconds to answer each question.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Is Baby Beal's hair green? Yes
No.
or no? That's one wrong.
Dude, is that like a main point? Before I do not remember that. Dude.
What is the 4th fruit lock for Kamen Rider Gun?
Was it an orange?
Wrong. Fill in the blank. Tower of blank.
God?
Correct.
Thank God.
What is the name of Kokomon's actual form it appears in the Digimon movie?
It's like the little thing.
What did Blair turn out to be instead of a witch?
A cat.
Right. Name the 10 great families in Tower of God.
You have the people. There we go. The people.
Oh my God.
Wrong. What can Sonic do quickly?
I mean, like run, like a lot of things.
That's
honestly,
correct.
I would assume.
All right, next question. What magazine published Soul Eater in 2004?
It was Shonen, right? Or it was like no, but it was whatever, and then like this Shonen. What is it, bro?
Shonen Gon.
Oh, of course.
That was also wrong.
Chris, you think you can do this?
Longer name than that. All right. Name the best fight from Beelzebub.
Dude, I was about to say something completely. It's where it was the main character versus like one of the guys at the beginning.
Wrong. True or false? Boobs are important.
I feel like this is an opinionated question. But like, yeah.
That's right. However, you were 5 for 11.
Oh no!
Oh man.
Bryce was not right.
Dude, he's gonna have to be put back a grade. We're gonna have to.
Might have to retest
failed
at some
his
point.
Okay.
Okay,
midterm,
what? It was like a really big thing that Baby Beal's hair was green.
Yes.
What? I don't remember that.
There
What
was a picture.
Damn, maybe I'm feeling if Justin's remembering shit and I'm not.
What was the whole? Was it Shonen Gon?
It was like
magazine?
Shonen Weekly Gon.
God damn it!
You were close.
Dude, how the fuck? Like after what is it? How long are we going?
How long is this episode?
Well,
Almost 3 hours, and I'm gonna remember all these characters and shit. It's like, yo, Shonen Gon.
I mean, we all have our off days.
I feel like the toughest question is the 10 great families.
Yeah.
one,
No, for sure
and
not.
Then it's Kokomon.
No, for sure not.
And then I'd say
Wait,
Fruit
what
Lock.
is the fourth one? What is the name of Kokomon's actual form?
Wendy Gomon.
Okay, no.
But do we ever talk about that?
I did. I mentioned it.
Dude, I swear there's no way.
Okay.
We got
As the editor of that episode, I'm not sure you mentioned.
I was about to say
I
we
definitely
need to
did.
go back.
I said he's technically called Wendigo Mom, but they literally call him Kokomon the whole movie.
I don't believe you.
I'm gonna re-listen to episode 1, and I'm gonna come back in episode
I'm
7.
about to have to
bro.
give
Give
you
an
them
update.
points, dude. I'm about to pass this shit for real.
If I didn't say it, Bryce will have passed his first midterm with flying colors.
Thank you. You know,
What was
I've been training.
What was
a
the
lot.
fourth fruit lock? Is it?
I'm pretty sure it was watermelon.
You pretty sure?
I mean, he wasn't supposed to get it right, so it didn't matter.
But what if it was orange?
But I knew it wasn't orange.
But
But I
you
can tell you that one.
Can you name all the 10 grape families? I can only name like.
You got 10
I got
seconds. You
four
got
of
10
them.
seconds. Go.
Hendelwalk, Eurasia, Ari, REA, Kuhn. The 10 seconds is like almost impossible, but yeah.
Oh shit!
Whoa.
Yeah, you're out of time.
Yeah.
Justin ruined it.
No, we're still recording. We're good.
I mean, you ruined his time.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. In fairness, though, I don't think I was gonna get all 10. There's always one I like forget.
So what was the best fight from Beelzebub?
Oh, I mean, it was just I was gonna say Taka versus the main character. But
So it's objective.
I mean, you weren't. That was the point, bro.
Bro,
So you couldn't get it.
but the best fight was the one I was talking about. It's in my head. That's the one I thought was the best fight. So it was.
That is objectively true in his case.
Ooh.
Damn.
Bryce may have passed.
I think we can reverse the score. 'Cause
Yeah.
to him, it
Especially
was true.
hinging on the possibility that Nolan said something or not. You know, I think we got it.
I'm definitely gonna go re-listen to that
I feel like we
episode.
can throw him a bone, given how
All right.
you know.
Well,
All right, how about this? At the start of episode 7, we will announce whether Bryce or passed or not.
Yes.
Yes.
I feel like that's fair.
Okay, so
So look forward to that in episode 7.
yeah, and I hope you guys like this.
I've slept like 4 hours. I'm about ready to continue that trend.
sleeping 4 hours or
No sleeping at all.
oh,
I would like to sleep.
okay. Well, that was a good one. I enjoyed
By the-
that one a lot.
By the way, Chris, I had a question. I like your hat.
Thanks.
All right.
Wait, did you say I have a question?
I was gonna ask about it though, because I've been staring at it all day.
It says Dad Bod. Dad Bod.
I was thinking it said Dad God.
What?
You are literally looking at it.
Just can't read.
You've been looking at
No,
it.
it kind of looks
all
like
day.
the B is a
Almost 3
G, though.
hours.
There's no G.
I'm saying it looks like it could be. All right, bye.